now watching I Shot Him 6 Times YouTube horror movie channel.
I shot him 6 times! And I had the mic on mute the whole time. That is terrible. I had such a great intro for you guys, and I just totally ruined it by having the fucking mic on mute. I'm a horrible human being. That's how you guys know I'm rusty. It's been a while since I posted. But anyway, let's get into the bullshit, shall we? Welcome to I Shot Him 6 Times YouTube horror movie channel, everybody. And, of course, welcome to episode 5 of the podcast. I'm excited to be back here with you all today. It's been months since I posted anything. And I was just talking to my guest backstage about this. I didn't even realize that, like, in terms of my last video that I posted compared to now, like how long the time gap has been. Like, can't believe it's been like 4, maybe even 5 months since I posted. Like, you guys know that's typically not me, but obviously things going on, work, stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, just happy to be back here with you guys today. Like, it's been a long time coming. We have a lot of Scream news, rumors, theories to dig into. As you guys are all well aware, the release date has been announced. 2026, February 27th. That's when it's going down. Scream 7 is going to be released. But we are also going to talk about the untitled Kirby Reed spinoff. When I heard about that, I was like, wow, this is going to be really interesting, and especially because of where they're talking about in terms of what direction that spinoff is going to be headed and how that's going to actually, I want to say even right now, be a concern for Scream 7 in terms of what a lot of us expect from its storyline's perspective. So, guys, I'm really excited to be here with you all today. I'm really excited to get into it. Again, it's been a while, and I apologize to all of you guys out there who've been hitting me up, asking me, hey, what's going on, Mr. Content and stuff like that. Just been busy. That's all it's really been. And I'm happy to be able to make time today to talk about some Scream news and catch up with everything. This is going to be a fun episode here on the podcast. I cannot wait to really dig into it. But before I bring my guests onto the stage, I'm going to check out all you guys' comments. So far, we have 6 people here. Greatly appreciate everybody stopping in. Do me a favor, shoot this episode and live stream a like. It definitely helps out with the YouTube algorithm a ton, as you all are well aware. Also, share this stream episode of the podcast on all your social media platforms. Again, it helps out the channel so much. And also, if you want to, want your message to be at the front of the line, if you have a question that you really want me to answer that, I might not be able to get to, because you guys know when we're politicking and when we're having a conversation, sometimes it's hard to keep up with the chats. So if you guys have a very important question that you want to ask, or if you just want to be kind, do your boy a favor and send in a super chat. It helps out as well with the channel a lot. Your super chats will go to the front of the line and get any question that you have answered. So again, I'm grateful to be back here with you all. I hope you guys like the shirt. I came, dressed for the occasion. So ready to get into it, you guys. Like, this is going to be so much fun. Okay, so what's up, Adrian? Yo, Adrian, what's up? I hope you're having a great day. It's a beautiful day out here today in my neck of the woods. I was surprised by how nice it was outside. It's really sunny too. We had here like over, I want to say easily like a week and a half worth of rain, and each day was just like ugly. What's up, Denisha? Glad to see you here as well. That's another thing I got to get to as well. Since I'm, getting back into everything, I got to get a hold of you guys, my moderators and all that stuff, and let you guys know when everything's going down. I haven't been able to really like get it out there and promote everything as much as I want, because this was so impromptu. Like, literally, I was modding on Sister Pam's channel the other night, and Jordan stopped in and basically was politicking in the chat, and we decided to just come on Saturday and bust it up and talk about some Scream, since it's been a while. What's up, Josh? Thank you for stopping in. I hope you're having a great day, man. It's good to see you. Josh saying it's great to see you back, bro. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, man. And that's what I was basically referring to a few minutes ago, in terms of some of you guys hitting me up on Instagram and stuff and checking in on me and asking what's up and stuff like that. I greatly appreciate that. I know you guys have been missing the content, and I'm glad that I can, live stream today and get you guys some content that you guys, want to see and want to hear. Yo, my man Dino, what's up, brother? Dino saying, yo, what's up? Glad I could catch the stream. I'm on my way to work right now. Okay, man. Hey, you already know, brother. Just you stopping in saying what's up, it shows the channel a lot of support, man. I greatly appreciate it. I'm so glad to see you here, man. You're another one I got to get on the channel and bust it up with some horror talk. It's been a while, man. Yeah, Dino, for sure. Dino said, "Miss these, bro. They're always so much fun." Absolutely, man. Especially with what we know so far. From Nev's Entertainment Tonight interview, from the news about the spinoff. Like, trust me, my man. Like, my mind is spinning on all this stuff. I have so many ideas on what direction this franchise is going to be headed in, and I think it's cool that, we're kind of getting a fresh new expansion in the Scream universe. I think it's cool. I like it. But all right, guys, so without wasting any more time, I'm going to bring on my guest for today's episode. Me and this guy, we have been trying to get together for a live stream for quite a long time now, and it just hasn't come to fruition, both of us being very busy. But fortunately, we were able to make time today to link up, hang out, and talk some Scream and catch up. And though I know it's not really possible, I'll say it's probably like 0.5% possible, hopefully by the end of this stream, we will get him to admit that not only is Stu Macher alive, but that he is going to be coming back in Scream 7. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody welcome Jordan Talks Film here to ISHOTHIM6TIMES YouTube horror movie channel and podcast, episode 5. Jordan, what's up, my man? Oh, you're on mute, brother. You did. You're on mute.
I was about to say, hey, it's good to be here, man. It's been a minute since I talked Scream. You had me cracking up.
Bro, listen, I love how we both started off this episode of the podcast on mute. I had such a great intro for everybody. I'll even just say it right now. I don't know if you ever seen the movie The Substitute with Tom Berenger, but what I was saying when I was on mute, I was like, good afternoon, class. And today we're going to talk Vietnam or whatnot. And then I was just like, let me stop fucking with you guys, and then got into the whole intro. But I didn't even realize I was on mute until I'm like, I look down and I see it was like mute. And I'm just like, oh, motherfucker.
Yeah, I saw that. Bro, but yeah, bro, as soon as you said that Stu thing, bro, I started dying laughing, bro.
Oh, I already know, bro. I had to plug that in there. Listen, I know where you stand on that, and you stand on business with that. You've always have. You know what I mean? But hey, I'm a firm believer that minds change. So hopefully by the end of this live stream, just even if it's a 0.1%, maybe, just maybe, we can get you to believe, my friend, that this man is alive and he's coming back.
I mean, listen, like, if there's any time for them to bring him back, it'll be in Scream 7. If they don't bring him in Scream 7, he's not coming back. I'm going to just be real with you. He's not. But honestly, I don't want them to, because I feel like it's definitely going to mess things up. And I feel like I'm more of a Stu fan than like most people that believe this. And that's the funny part, bro. I'm just like, I want him to kind of like keep him in, the first movie,
Right.
Yeah.
No, man, I know you're a Stu fan. You know what I mean? And we talked about this before, you know what I mean? And I understand your reasonings why you personally wouldn't want to see it, happen and stuff like that. But man, I'm going to be honest with what we know so far, and we're going to get into it and stuff. And just judging by Nev's Entertainment Tonight interview that she had back at the end of July, I think all the clues point that this is the direction that they're headed in. Could I be wrong? Could we, all of us Stu Truthers, be wrong? Absolutely. We won't know until that movie is released. You know what I mean? But as of right now, I think the case can be made that we know where this is going. You know, and I know backstage we talked about it a little bit, and you hadn't seen that interview yet and stuff.
Yeah,
and I'll be completely honest with you, especially now that I'm getting back into everything. I just fully watched that interview the other day, just really like bunkered down and paid attention to it. And I think the number one thing that really stood out to me from that interview is when the interviewer talked about her return to Scream 7, and the interviewer compared it to Halloween 2018 and Laurie Strode, the resurgence of Laurie Strode, such and such. And Nev, and I quote, said, "That's the idea." Now, where I stand on that is, okay, so what do we know about Halloween 2018? Well, Halloween 2018 was a direct sequel to the original that wiped out all the other movies, including what we knew about Laurie Strode from Halloween 2 and Halloween H2O. They added elements from those films, you know, of course, but they completely wiped out the story that we know and basically, you know, retconned it, as they like to say nowadays, and stuff. Now, do I think that they're going to do a drastic change like that with Scream? No. What I will say is that I think there's a possibility, and I spoke about this in one of my last videos, that we could be either getting a direct sequel to the original, a direct sequel to the third, or a direct sequel to the fourth. And out of all of those, I think the fourth movie is the most, it's the highest one on my list. And the reason why is because we're getting a Kirby Reed spinoff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you try to do a direct sequel to the original movie for Scream 7 or even Scream 3, that's not going to work because Kirby, how are you going to explain in a separate universe where Kirby comes from?
Right.
You know, so in my opinion, especially given what has happened with this franchise and the creative reset and all that stuff, it seems to me that they are focusing on the legacy characters, not the newer characters from 5 and 6, that going forward, we are going to be focusing on the legacy characters. And what that tells me is that in Scream 7, we are going to possibly be following Sydney after the events of Scream 4. And then when the spinoff comes, we're going to be following Kirby from the events of Scream 4, or you can even say Scream 6. And the reason why I say this, and you know, this is my theory that I have for the spinoff. You could fit the core 4 in there. And the reason why you can is because Paramount, not Spyglass, Paramount is distributing the Kirby spinoff.
Oh.
Melissa don't have beef with Paramount. She had beef with Spyglass. So now, if you wanted to go in that direction, and this is the biggest thing, you know what I mean, for me with that, is that they're supposed to be doing the cult direction with Kirby's spinoff.
Yeah. Huh.
Yes. That's what is basically being put out there right now. You know, so what that tells me for Scream 7, going back to Sydney and why her interview with Entertainment Tonight is so telling, in my opinion, is because, in my opinion, they're not going to go the cult of Ghostface route. You can't do it back to back, because then it becomes stale real quickly. You just can't do it. You know what I mean? You can't have both movies have the similar, you know, basically the same thing happen. You know what I mean? So what that leads me to believe is, what do we know about Laurie Strode in Halloween 2018? She was dealing with a killer who came before.
Right.
You know what I mean? And one singular killer, not a group of killers. She didn't have to worry about a new killer until Halloween ends.
Right.
You know what I mean? In this one, she only had to worry about a killer that she had dealt with before.
Right.
I think, and as well as an homage to Scream 3, Stu is not only going to come back, but he could just be a solo killer.
Ooh.
Yes.
That would be nice.
I think that they're going to bring him back, but instead of doing the Cult of Ghostface story with him, it's just going to be him as a solo killer. And the reason why I believe that is because I don't know if you've been seeing this, but there's a lot of rumors out there, and it's just rumors, you know what I mean? But they've been pretty consistent with who's been putting them out there and stuff like that. These killings are supposed to be personal to Sydney. Personal. Well, in my opinion, if it's personal to Sydney, it can't be a new character that we are just getting introduced to, because you need a layer backstory, in my opinion.
Yeah, but what I took from that was like, I just thought that meant like they were gonna kill like her daughter. Like they might have had like a one of her daughters that was born in like 2002 or something after Scream 3, like 2 years after Scream 3, and then maybe like the oldest child gets killed, and that's the personal connection, you know?
Right.
But do you think, like, in this theory, like, do you think that 5 and 6 don't exist if it takes place after 4?
Yes.
But then how does that? But you said that Sam would, like, you would want Sam to be in the show though. If she doesn't
Because,
exist,
but see, but this is why it does make sense, is because from a movie's perspective, from Sydney's timeline perspective, if you're separating Kirby from that, we don't know if Kirby's going to be in Scream 7. Now, if Kirby is in Scream 7, then that takes Samantha and them off the table, if you ask me. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if she's not in Scream 7, and you're going to separate Kirby's character from the other legacy characters, then in terms of Sydney's timeline, you can do the direct story from Scream 4. You can do that. Or whatever. They've done it in Halloween so many times. You know what I mean? With switching that up. You know what I mean? Now, for me, it's not even so much of Kirby not being in Scream 7. I hope she's in Scream 7. Right. I mean, because if you want this to be a legacy sequel, like Kevin Williamson wants it to be, then I would like to think she's a part of that. But what if this just is a legacy sequel where we have the original legacy characters? Because think about it. If you pick up after 4, Dewey's not dead.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And I will point this out there. I don't know if you heard this. Courtney's not signed yet.
Oh, yeah, I heard that. Yeah, she's not signed yet.
And from what I took from her quotes, and I'm not trying to put words in her mouth, you know what I mean? But I think there's a possibility the reason why she hasn't signed yet, and she's also said to have some type of creative control, is because she wants there to be a way to bring David Arquette back as Dewey.
Damn, okay.
You know, so if you ask me, if that's really what she, you know, what is holding up signing on the dotted line, you know, picking up after 4 makes all the sense in the world. You know,
so with that being said, the way you're explaining it makes it sound like the Kirby that we get only exists basically like exists in the timeline we have now, Scream 1 through 6. But what you're making it sound like is that the Scream 7 Sydney, the story that we're going to be getting, would be take place after 4, so it would technically be Scream 5. But then that would mean that the Kirby that we get in the TV show doesn't exist in that movie, though, like in that timeline. Does that make sense?
I see where you see it as that. The thing is that Kirby is always going to exist in Sydney's timeline because she was in 4. Now, you could say the same thing about
a different one, right?
You know what I mean? Huh?
But it's a different Kirby, though, right? So it's technically, so the one that will exist in the movies, and then the new movie would be a different Kirby from the one we saw in 6. So it'd be
no, because she's supposed to be doing the FBI thing or whatnot and stuff like that. She's supposed to be doing the FBI thing. So she's supposed to be the same exact character that we got in Scream 6. What I'm saying is, in terms of starting this new timeline in Scream 7, if they are going to focus only on Sydney, and only on her kids or whatever. They can do that because now they are creating their own separate universe with Kirby, to where if they wanted to bring the Core Four back, Paramount is they have no beef with Melissa, so that can happen, and you can separate even the Core Four from having to be involved with Sydney, because that's what everybody wanted anyway. Everybody wanted their story finished, and you don't need Sydney to finish their story. You don't. You don't need Sydney to finish their story at all.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but that's still confusing because it seems like it's hold on. Okay, so I'm sorry, bro. It's so confusing. So in the TV show, Scream 1 through 6 would exist. That's canon. Is Kirby from that timeline that exists in Scream 6? But in this new Scream 7,
No,
if they started it after the fourth one, it would technically be Scream 5, and this Kirby
no.
that we
What
see
I'm
in Scream 6
I,
wouldn't
I see where
exist.
you're getting confused. Sydney's story is picking up after Scream 4 in the events of Scream 7. That doesn't technically mean the Core 4 is basically out of
So it's
reach
a
in terms
prequel
of
to
canon.
those.
Hold on, but what I'm saying is this: is you can pick up Sydney's story where we are at now from Scream 4, because we don't know much about Sydney in Scream 5. She was just a supporting character or whatnot.
Right.
You know what I mean? She was just a supporting character. So what I'm saying is, in terms of really telling Sydney's story, you can basically pick it up after the events of 4 or whatever. The
Oh.
Core 4 is still canon or whatnot. They're just not involved because you don't need them involved to tell this new story for Sydney.
So it's kind of in a way. So it's kind of in a way a prequel to 5 and 6, but it's a sequel to 4.
Yes.
Oh, but I wonder how they would. I don't know. I don't know if Nev's aged too much, or do you think? I don't know.
No, that's what I said. Like, everybody would say, yes, she is in 5 and stuff like that, but we've only got tidbits on her life in terms of what we know. You know what I mean? There are so many other years in between that you can, build a story upon and stuff. All we really know now is that she's a mother, she has kids, and she has a husband. That's Mark Kincaid.
Right.
That's it.
So you're saying like there could have been like a whole movie in between 4 and 5, pretty much.
Possibly. I
But
believe that as well. You
I
know what I
feel
mean?
like it would have been on the board though, on the Kirby's murder board.
Yeah, but at the same time, I just feel like, man, they're going to be ignoring some things that we saw in 5 and 6 in terms of it as a way to get away from the Core 4 storyline, man. It's just what I feel it's going to happen. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like I said, they did it with Halloween H2O, and think about it, and they did a poor job at that. You know what I mean? Because they did. You know what I mean? Because there were so many pieces of dialogue that it's like, okay, this is supposed to be a direct sequel to the original, but you're still mentioning things that happened in Halloween 2. You know what I mean? And stuff. And I
Right.
think that that's what Scream is going to try to avoid. You know what I mean? Right there is that
Wait,
we're
no,
going
no,
to take.
no. H2O was a sequel to Halloween 2.
No, it was supposed to be, it was 20 years later after the original movie itself. That's what it was supposed to be. Think
Dude, for
about okay,
years
so
I've never heard anybody.
this is why I say that too. And they messed it up themselves in the movie. So at the beginning of Halloween H2O, when after Nurse Marion and Jimmy and all them is killed, you see the detectives walking through the house, and the one detective is like, "You don't think Michael Myers?" And his partner looks at him and says, "They never found his body." But then later, you hear John say to Lori, "You told me yourself you watched him burn," where you're referencing two different endings, because the original ending would have been they didn't find his body because he got up and walked away.
I think he was talking about like they didn't find his body after it burned. Because think
How
about
could
it.
you not? It's
Because
burning to a crisp.
but
It's right there.
he's supernatural though. Remember?
Not, but see, then that wouldn't make sense, really, though, especially in terms of how does he just resurface like unscathed now? Like he would have to be burned up and all that stuff really badly in H2O.
I don't.
It made
I always
it
took it
made
as he
more
just like
sense.
regenerated his skin or
It
something.
made more sense that they followed the original ending that he just got up and walked away, which is why the detective had said, "Oh, they never found his body."
That
You
makes
know what I
sense.
mean? And that would fall in line with, you know what I mean? That's how it should have been. But like I said, they referenced two different endings. That's why I said they did a poor job with that. I think that Scream could pick up from a timeline from either 1, 3, or 4, preferably 4, and stuff. And like I said, the core 4, 5 and 6 still exist. They just don't exist in this new story that we're telling with Sydney, because you don't need them to. You don't need the core. Let's really be honest. I mean, some may disagree because of Samantha and Stu's connection to Billy. But do you really need Samantha Carpenter for Stu Macher to come back?
Nah.
No, you don't. What you really need is Sydney.
Right.
So that's where I'm getting at with that. You know what I mean? And I think it's possible, man, like the core 4 ever coming back, my theory for Kirby's spinoff, that's a long shot still in itself. I just wanted to point out to the fact that if they wanted to do it in some shape, way, or form, Spyglass is supposedly not said to be involved. Which I find very, very interesting.
Yeah, the only problem with that would be, is Jenna worth too much now? Like, unless she truly loves the franchise.
Right.
Which I'm sure she does, but, business is business at the end of the day.
Right.
Because I don't think I would buy Tara not being in them,
Right. Yeah, man. I think I think that in Scream 7, we are going to get a killer, and this is why I say Stu, who is very personal to Sydney. I feel like, and some will say, well, what if it's a new character? Okay, well, are we going to get enough time to tell that backstory? I feel like you would want it to be somebody that we know already, somebody that we're familiar with. I feel like it would hit on so many different levels, on so many good levels, if you did that. You know what I mean? If the idea is to follow the formula of Halloween 2018, I feel like for one time only, we've never done it in this franchise. It would make sense if you bring a killer that we thought was dead back and have him be the one. You know what I mean? Because there's a score to settle there. You know what I mean? Right. You can, to me, it's too easy. I don't want to say it's even too easy, but we've seen it before where they've introduced new killers that have a score to settle with Sydney in some shape, way, or form. The only killers you can say his motive wasn't really a score to settle with Sydney was Jill, Charlie, and Stu.
Jill, Charlie, and Mickey.
You know what I mean? Yes, and Mickey. That's true. Good point out right there.
And
those were only everybody else. It was like revenge. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, well, no, you can count Richie and Amber too. You can count Richie and Amber too because their whole motive was to recreate the original. There wasn't no personal vendetta with Sydney.
Right,
you know what I mean? And stuff like that. And that's the thing too, is that this is why it's best to pull the trigger now on this whole personal vendetta thing. Because if you really break it down and think about it, most of the killers, I mean, we've had a good healthy percentage of these killers be a personal beef with Sydney.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that we do have to get away from.
You know what I mean? Know something perfect that could do that though.
What?
What if Ghostface is after Mark, and then so he knows that the the connection with Sydney and Ghostface, so they just decided to fuck with him by doing the Ghostface thing.
What That's true.
That? I feel like that would be the best route. I really hope they don't play with the timeline. That's one thing I really love about Scream. Currently, it's the most consistent franchise. It's not a bad movie, and it's literally in order. I want to get to like Scream 10 and like it'll be in chronological order. That would be cool. I just don't want it fucked up like the Halloween timeline.
Right. Man, that's why the spinoff is a surprise to me.
Mm-hmm.
I did not think that we were. I mean, if anything, I thought we were going to get a TV show. Excuse
Well,
me. Oh,
I mean, that is a TV show, right? I
no,
thought.
it's a whole new movie.
Wait, it's a Kirby movie? What? Bro, I thought that was a show, a TV show.
A spin-off movie, bro. The universe is expanding. Like,
Fuck.
I'm telling you, man.
Oh God.
Yeah. And this and think about this too. What did Kirby say at the end of Scream 6 to Samantha? She
I saw that in
basically
the movie once.
no. If you ever need anything,
Oh,
don't
caller.
so this,
Oh.
and if Paramount's listen, bro, I'm telling you this right now. This is why I don't think it's that far-fetched to think about that with Paramount being as distributors.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Monster Mania in August in
Mm-hmm.
Jersey. Melissa's popularity, bro, her line was damn near as long as Robert England's.
Really? God
Bro,
damn.
when I walked in there the first night, this is the doors. I walk in. I look to the side. There's line of people. And it's like, you know how the Indianapolis Colts symbol is? That's how
No.
this, so you don't follow football like that. Okay. Well,
No, not at all.
all right. So you know what a horseshoe looks like though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So it was literally that shape because that's how their room is to get into this autograph signings and all that. Bro, her line was so long that it formed a horseshoe.
That's crazy. That's
Bro,
crazy, dude.
and that was exactly how Robert England's was. It was nuts. Like you wasn't, and then when you did get into that room, easily like 200-300 people already in line.
Jeez, bro.
Like her popularity is through the fucking roof right now, bro. And one thing we know about Hollywood and distributors is they love money. They love printing money. Right now, she is money.
Right.
So I just think that there is a way, if they really wanted to do it, where they could have the core four be featured along with Kirby and keep that separate from Sydney. I
Okay,
just
now that makes me even more excited because then that means we get another movie with them. I thought it was a TV show. I was about to be like, I hope it's as good as Scream, the season 2 of Scream.
see, and I just thought about this, bro. See, I'm so glad we are doing this because now I'm getting my mojo back. You know what I mean? Now the juices is flowing, like the engine is running. Like, so think about this, bro. Or whatever, Scream 6, or whatever. Remember, Sydney deserves her happy ending.
Mm-hmm.
They killed you can easily say they killed her character having any involvement with the core four.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, what they are saying is we don't need Sydney to be involved with the core four to make a core four movie.
Mm.
That's pivotal when it comes to this Kirby movie, man, because once again, you don't need Samantha's story to ever be finished with Sydney's. Because think about it. What was our biggest issue with Samantha and the core four storyline and Sydney coming back for 7 anyway? Sydney just can't come back just to help them. She has a family.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it was
You
for
know?
Dewey, so it made sense. But
Right. But she can't just keep coming back to help these people when she has a family. And I don't know if you know this, bro, but in the original draft for Scream 6, before Nev exited, that was the plan.
really,
Bro, Sydney literally abandoned, like how they read it was Sydney abandons her family to go be with the core four. And at the end of it, she tells them that they are her chosen family.
okay. Now, bro, I feel like I'm so glad that they had that pay dispute and never got in because I feel like that would have low-key ruined
Right?
everything. That would have ruined everything, bro. I would have been like, dude, we were so consistent with this franchise, and you just fucked it up like that.
The only way, and I don't even know if fans would have accepted it. The only way that to me works is 2 ways. And in this draft, of the script that didn't happen. The scene that we got between Gail and Samantha talking about families, that was supposed to be Sydney and Samantha. Now, if you're setting it up, if you were setting it up for a reveal that somehow, some way, it's the movies, they can do it. Somehow, some way, Samantha is Sydney's real daughter, and that her family with Mark in the seventh movie are going to be the killers because they feel much like Roman felt with Marine, they feel Sydney abandoned them in favor of the core four. I don't even know if fans. I don't know if fans would accept that. That's how I took that draft. I'm like, because it's like, okay, so what are you leading into with that? If you're featuring Samantha and Sydney in this whole family thing, and then Sydney herself says at the end, y'all are my chosen family. Well, then that just sets it up for basically Sydney is abandoning her family. The same way Marine did to Roman.
Right, and that would follow the trend of them mirroring each film. Scream 5 mirrored the original, 6 mirrored the second, and then this one would be like Scream 3 in a way.
Right.
Damn.
I think that's how that's how they were setting it up, bro. Because I mean, how else do you explain that? You know what I mean? Like, how else do you explain? Like, to me, when I read that dialogue that Samantha and Sydney were supposed to have that family scene, I'm like, you're setting it up, in my opinion, for her to be revealed as her daughter. Like, why do they need to have that conversation? And then why is Sydney choosing them?
That wouldn't even make any sense, bro. Samantha's Hispanic, and Sydney and Billy are both white.
Well, see, the thing is, and I say this all the time, is just because the actress is Hispanic, they could easily sit there and portray her as a Caucasian character. Charlie Sheen is my go-to with that. You know what I mean? Charlie Sheen is Hispanic. What did he mostly play in his movie roles? He played a Caucasian man. You know what I mean? So, and it's been done throughout movies. You know what I mean? I mean, Will Ferrell played a Mexican in Casa de Mi Padre.
Damn, really?
Yeah. So, bro, it's the movies. They could sit there and do it however they wanted to. And
who's the first person you said? You said Will Ferrell,
Charlie Sheen.
Oh, Charlie Sheen. Okay.
Yeah.
But I thought
his real name is Emilio, if I'm not mistaken, or Carlos Estevez.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know who Charlie Sheen is. Yeah, and they had him play like a Hispanic person.
And Martin Sheen is that?
Oh, he is Hispanic?
Yes.
Or he's not.
I think he's Mexican or he's Hispanic. One of Spanish, one of the two. But I know he's not Caucasian.
Oh, okay, maybe he's not, but he passes like Melissa does not pass as Caucasian, if that makes sense.
I mean, but let's really be honest. We've seen Caucasian people even darker than her. That's true.
Like that's like Italian.
You know what I mean? Hey, listen, I bet you didn't think this. Lynn McCree is Hawaiian, bro.
Lynn McCree?
She's Hawaiian. She's not like, you know what I mean? She's not she's not considered like what you would call, like, I guess, Caucasian, you know, American. You never would have thought that.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's the movies, bro. They could do whatever they want. You know what I mean? They could, you know, sit there and they can have a Hispanic actress portray a Caucasian woman. It is what it is. You know what I mean? And people will say, well, what about her sister Tara? Well, if you made it to where Sydney and Billy are the parents, then Samantha and Tara aren't even related. So, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But, bro, I think that in Scream 7, now this is what I also want to get into, the babysitter theory. Because everybody assumes that this babysitter is going to be somebody young. And rightfully so.
I wanted it to be the killer. I want the babysitter to be the killer. That would be awesome. I've been having this whole plot in my head. That would be awesome for an opening. Like
That
it's like
really
the
wouldn't be bad.
huh?
That really wouldn't be bad. I mean, they would just have to do it to where they make it look really good. Not as obvious as they did with Quinn and Scream 6 that it's a staged, it's staged.
Right. And here's my thing. I'm like, Sydney would probably have a bunch of cameras in her house. So it would take out the plot of why was she acting like you know how, like in
Right.
certain scenes where like it's kind of like the Quinn bedroom scene where Ethan's standing over her and we're like that doesn't make sense because it's just them and they both know they're the killers. You know what I mean? So what if Sydney has a whole bunch of cameras around our house and we can go back in the film and be like, oh shit, that's smart as fuck how we didn't notice that. Where it's like the
Right.
babysitter is acting for the camera and she like texts like her partner or whatever and it's all staged.
I mean,
That would be
that's not
amazing.
impossible to think. And the reason why, now, again, we don't know what they're going to do. I personally think if they're going to do the cult thing with Kirby's spinoff, then they're not going to do it in 7. But keep in mind, the original plan for Scream 3 with Stu wasn't just that it was supposed to be a cult of, people helping him, but that everybody that was supposedly killed was a part of the cult.
That
And
would
that
have been
at the end, they all rise up like from their dead spots and they all basically form and reveal that they're a part of it.
bro, sometimes I'm so glad that some of these scripts never came to fruition. Bro, this franchise would have been dead at Scream 3, bro. If nobody actually died, and then in Scream 6, Sydney, after saying, sorry, Dewey, I have no intention on coming back to that town ever again, and then she just flies to New York. Like, what the fuck?
Right,
That's
right.
insane.
Like it's going to be interesting to see exactly what they're going to do. But for me, with the the babysitter theory, or whatever, with that, if this is supposed to be extremely personal to Sydney, right? Now, from what the rumors say, the daughter is supposed to be a focal point going forward. So the oldest one. So I think we can scratch out her being killed if that holds out to be true.
Oh, hey, I know what could happen. What if Ghostface is going just after like the daughter is the new Sydney slash Sam, and like the boyfriend like might be the killer or some shit. He's like I thought it was cool your mom was Sydney Prescott, and I wanted to like kill you, like something crazy like that.
So okay, so you're saying basically the killer would be her daughter's boyfriend or something like that.
Yeah, and like
But the
the
main
daughter would be
targets is like Sydney's a main like character. Like
yeah
we're telling her story, but when it comes to the killings are surrounded around her daughter.
yeah yep.
Okay. No,
That'll be dope.
that could happen. I mean, if you think
Yeah.
about if the rumors turn out to be true that her daughter's going to be a focal point going forward, that kind of makes sense for the killings to also have something to do with her as well. That makes sense. Now, in terms of the babysitter, I'm going to go the opposite way. And I said this, I didn't say about him being the babysitter. I just said maybe. I mean, if these killings are supposed to be personal to Sydney, what if Neil Prescott was the opening kill? What if Neil Prescott is the babysitter? Think about it. If this is supposed to be personal to Sydney, personal, outside of Mark, Gail, and her kids, what gets more personal than killing her father?
She's already, but Sydney's dad is already dead by Scream 4. They actually mentioned it.
Nope. That's a deleted scene. It's not canon. It is not canon within the actual films. Neil is not officially dead. That's a deleted scene. Doesn't count.
Huh. That'd be awesome. Isn't the actor dead or no?
I don't think so. I looked it up when I was doing that video a couple months ago, and I think it said he's still alive, and he's like a professor, film professor somewhere.
Oh.
Yeah. And stuff. But no, they could definitely bring Neil Prescott. And I think that's a great move. If you're talking about being personal, if this is supposed to be Sydney's most personal Ghostface that she's dealing with yet, well, to me, outside of Roman, that would have been Billy because he killed her mother.
Mm-hmm.
So this killer kills her father. That makes it just as equally personal.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
I think it's possible, man. I think that Neil Prescott, and you talk about a legacy sequel. If Neil Prescott in canon isn't dead, then why not bring him back?
Right. Yeah.
And it's not far-fetched to think Grandpa is watching the youngest grandkids while Sidney,
Right.
Mark, and the oldest kid is out doing whatever they're doing.
Yeah, and we know pretty much her daughter's name gonna be Tatum. Like she's like a teenager, so
Yeah,
I think.
he's supposed to be around the same age Sidney was around when Marine was killed.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is about to be good, bro. I feel like they're gonna kind of do that, like make her kind of like one of the main focuses.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's definitely gonna be like one of her friends or like her boyfriend or something
Thank you,
for
Dino.
sure.
I think
Oh
so
yeah.
too, man. Like, I think I just maybe I'm just being biased because I love this franchise.
Mhm.
I think that this has the opportunity with Kevin Williamson directing as well, and I knew this was going to happen, Jordan.
Mhm.
They're going through multiple rewrites because Kevin Williamson is making them do it.
Mhm.
That is so important, and which is why the release date is very important and is the right move as well, because that means they are taking the time to get this movie right.
Right. Yep.
To make sure no stones go unturned, to make sure that there is no ridiculous plot holes in the story, such as how is Detective Bailey his fake name, but he's a New York City police, he's a cop.
Right. Right.
Stuff like that. That is why I am so optimistic that Scream 7 might
Mhm.
be the best Scream movie to come out since the original.
I always hold out hope there could be one better one than the original. I think it could be possible someday. Honestly,
Bro,
like if they really went for it, like they could do it, bro. But it could
I'm
be at least is like make it the second best.
like, bro, so let me ask you this.
Hmm.
If Scream 7 does, oh, I'll say this. If the Kirby Reed, if we get some official confirmation, and I'm hoping we get some official confirmation before the movie comes out, before Scream 7
Hmm.
with the Kirby spinoff. If they confirm that Kirby is going to be going after a cult of ghost faces,
Hmm.
then are we going to get one singular killer, or are we going to just get back to two killers in Scream 7?
I want to see one killer, but not, the more I think about it, because I remember I used to talk about that, and I feel like Fate or maybe somebody else bring it to my attention that that wouldn't really work because the reason it works for the most part in Scream 3 is not only because Roman never even met Sydney, but also he faked his death, and there's plot inconsistencies because it was shot as if there were two killers. So I
Right.
wonder if it could work. It could though, like, but I feel like they would have to pull a Mickey and like the person would like pretend to be kidnapped or some shit and just be killing the rest of the movie. Maybe they got like a fucking like Bluetooth thing to call or something, so it make more sense. Like how he's like calling and moving at the same time. You know, they could do a lot of stuff. And I hope, bro, I hope this is the perfect time for them to actually bring back the Scream 3 voice changer, bro. And it
Yes.
makes sense now, bro. Like it'll be a different voice
Yes.
changer, but it'll be do the same thing.
Yeah.
Because now
I
we know
agree.
that they can. Because what they can do, because I remember this was in like a different TV show where it was a plot of some TV show. I can't remember, but like somebody got their SD card in their phone replaced, and so it took. Oh, it was in the show SWAT. They put a fake SD card in their phone, and it copied all their photos and videos, and they were able to like mimic the voice, like somebody's voice, based
Yeah.
off of that. They could do it like that.
Yeah,
That would make a lot more
absolutely.
sense.
Bro, did you see the what is it called? The Scream 3 assembly cut?
No, but I do remember this one because he had like a disc. So,
Yes, yes, bro. They showed that in the assembly cut, bro. They showed Ghostface, which we could assume is Roman, in his lair. He had a lair with computers, and it shows him and how he basically downloads the voices and all that stuff, bro. It's cool. It was real
They
cool.
should have kept that in.
They should have. And this is another thing that they showed in that movie, and when that assembly cut. There were definitely two killers, because in Cotton's beginning scene, when he gets off the phone, when the killer gets off the phone with him, two cars pull out on the highway going towards his girlfriend's house.
Wait, so that happened after
When
Cotton got killed?
No, when Cotton's on the phone with the killer and stuff, the killer basically tells him, and it stays in a female voice. They don't switch it to the Ghostface voice. The female basically tells Cotton that, in so many words, they're going to kill his girlfriend. When the phone hangs up, you see two random cars in the same basically highway and in the same, line that Cotton's backed up in, take their cars and pull off into the exit, going towards his girlfriend's house.
What the hell?
When I saw that, I said, oh, well, that's the dead giveaway. That was two killers right there. That's how they originally shot it.
And do you think they're gonna keep it canon that it was one, or do you think they might make something of that one day, having it be revealed that there were two?
I think you could do it now. I mean, I think I've always said this, if you're going to go the cult of Ghostface, which I don't think they're going to do for 7 now, if they're going to do it for Kirby's movie,
right?
But if you're going to go the cult of Ghostface, why, instead of just being one killer, why not two killers that we thought were dead come back?
Jill and
two that make the most sense. The two that make the most sense to me, and I'm not saying Jill couldn't, it's just hard for me to believe, because my thing is this, it's Jill's motive. Jill's motive wasn't centered around revenge. She just wanted to be famous.
But now it would be.
It would be, but we've seen that before with the family member wanting revenge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To me, it makes more sense if you're going to go with this route of having two killers come back. Especially if you're not going to do the cult of Ghostface thing. Just do an Angelina, man. I will never believe she died. She got stabbed in the shoulder.
Oh, God. But, I mean, it was Scream 3, though. It was Scream 3. That, bro, that one chick, Sarah Darling, got stabbed one time. I mean, that's realistic, though. That could happen, but still, the way it happened, it was goofy.
No, I will agree with you on that. When I go back and I watch Scream 3, I look at a lot of those kills outside of Tom, because he got blown to fucking pieces, and stuff. But I look at a lot of those kills, and Tyson, because he got thrown out, you know what I mean? And and stuff. But I look at a lot of the stabbings.
Yeah.
It wasn't really that convincing. Like, what's her name? Jennifer. I still think Jennifer could be alive. Because to me, her stabbing and getting thrown through the Dewey shot through the glass, but the bullet didn't hit her. So basically,
it might have.
No, because when you look at where Dewey was aiming, he was aiming at the top. And Ghostface threw her through right when Dewey shot the top of the glass.
But how the fuck did he escape there?
I mean, that house, as you saw, bro, it had many, many trap doors.
Right.
So, I mean, that shit was a fortress, bro. So, Milton had that shit set up to the gills. So, my boy was, Roman was cutting through bookcases. My boy was cutting through everything, man. Like, I agree with you, That's another thing, too, like about Scream 3. There were certain moments that when you go back and watch, to me, Jennifer should have been Roman's accomplice. Like how we say Angelina was going to be Roman's accomplice, it should have been Jennifer. The reason why I say that is because she dated Roman. And remember the scene where he faked his death? Yeah. Who was down there in the basement? Jennifer.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, to me, they had the right frame of mind. If only Wes would have gotten to do the movie he wanted to do in terms of making it two killers, they had the wrong killer. Jennifer should have been the killer, not Angelina.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, but Man, and that's the thing. Like, so let me ask you this: how much do you think Scream 7 will mirror Scream 3?
How
Now that we have
much?
all these creative changes, and Kevin Williamson himself has said he wants it to be a legacy sequel. So, how much of an influence does Scream 3 have on Scream 7 now with this new creative, reset?
Here, I'll tell you, man. One thing for sure, like I just mentioned a few minutes ago, it's a perfect is the bringing the voice changer back.
Yes.
Where, yep, that would be perfect, and they can explain it in such a perfect way that makes complete sense. Now,
Oh,
uh,
bro, honestly, you don't even have to explain it. Look at the era we're in. Technology is on a whole new level. Don't
AI,
even, don't even have to. You don't even have to explain it. You know what I mean? We just get that piece, a beautiful piece of device back, and imagine how much cooler they can make it look. You know what I mean? I still would want them to kind of
right,
keep it looking the same, but there's going to be modifications.
right. They could probably make it look like a square, kind of like the traditional one, but more advanced, like the third one. Instead of like being a circle, it'll make
Yeah,
even more sense. And they could probably somehow fit it in their mask. It never made sense how they did that in Scream 5 where it was on the neck, but
right.
it's supposed to be like in the front.
Well,
But
no. And this is something that somebody pointed out to me after, I forget what video it was, but somebody pointed this out to me. And I didn't even fucking notice it until I had to go back and Scream 4 and really look.
mm-hmm.
Remember Robbie had that camera?
Mm-hmm.
The light, the red light, when he would turn on the camera. You could easily sit there and have a voice box probably connected or a device that's, USB, whatever, however you Bluetooth, whatever, and
Yeah.
stuff. So if they can, I'm pretty sure if they can do that, like somebody said that they felt like it was the camera that it was a camera that was inside the mask, much like Robbie's camera in Scream 4. And when I thought about
Hmm.
it, I'm like, that's not impossible. That's not an impossible theory. Like that actually would make sense. You know what I mean? Because think about it, especially if they were going the Cult of Ghostface route. If nothing would have got fucked up, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if? And I brought this a point up for Scream 6 because remember at the beginning with Jason Carvey, he was being recorded. What if Dewey's murder was recorded? And that voice modulator is a camera that also happens to be a voice modulator that you can, you can use to, change your voice.
But it's implied, but I don't think that's possible because it's implied that it's the same type of voice box Richie had when he, turned it on and said that to Sam. He was like, "It really was the best choice for the movie, bro," because it makes the exact same sound. It makes the
Yes, it does. Yes, you're right about that. It does.
yeah.
That's a good point and stuff. So yeah, I mean, yeah, that is true, but you never know, man. You know what I
You
mean?
know,
Technology today's it's possible. I think that would have been a cool thing if they would have put a camera with the voice modulator and the mask. That's crazy. See, it's faux pas like that. I'm glad you brought that up. Because how the
mhm,
hell is that thing fitting in there?
right?
Like,
And because it has to be in front of the mouth though,
right,
and
and
she
then
turns it like off in the
right
neck.
on the side.
Yeah, so that didn't make
Yeah,
any sense.
I'm gonna have to go back. I want to go back and Scream 4, and I'm gonna see if Robbie's camera has a microphone attached to it. Because if it has a
Oh yeah.
microphone attached to it, then I mean
Oh yeah.
that's possible, man. I'm just so excited for this franchise. I mean, I'm sad that what they did, obviously to Melissa and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think we all can agree, and this is the truth. You know what I mean? Even when Scream 5 came out and they announced we were going to be following new characters and stuff like that, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of us felt like, even though some felt Scream 3 would have been the perfect ending to end Sydney's story,
Mm-hmm.
being that we got a Scream 4, we wanted more of the legacy characters. We did. You know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Now we get that. Now we get the staple of the Scream franchise. And now, to me, excuse me, because Sydney has been the staple of this franchise, things are going to get really interesting with following her daughter.
Right. Yep.
Oh, think about this too. You know what I mean? and this is another outside shot theory that I had. Just you know how you go through. You just don't. So many things pop into your head, ideas on what they could do and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
We know Kevin Williamson wanted to keep Jill alive as a killer who made it into another movie.
Right.
I said this, you know what I mean? I expect some changes to come with Sydney's character. Not drastic changes, but I don't expect the character to be the same.
Right.
What if Sydney? Because there's been moments where Sydney, and nobody talks about this, bro. Sydney mirrors Marine in a lot of ways that nobody talks about, bro, and stuff. Point an example. Before we even knew Marine was an actress, what was Sydney going to college for in Scream 2?
Oh, to be an actress.
So there's moments like that in the franchise where Sydney mirrors her mother. And remember, in Scream 3, what did Marine say in that dream? You're poison. You're just like me. You're just like me. Bro, what if they decide to kind of go in this direction with Sydney? And I know some people might hate this, but it's not impossible. What if they so many ways kind of make Sydney the new Marine? What if Sydney is out having affairs on Mark? And what if her daughter turns out to be one of the killers, but instead of having her die, she makes it as a killer who makes it into the sequels.
Right.
Now some will say, well, doesn't that mean Sydney has to die? Not quite. Because how Kevin Williamson had it set up for Jill to do this was that apparently after Sydney's attack, she had amnesia from that night of events. She didn't remember anything.
Oh, yeah, Jill.
Yes. Sydney was, after those events happened, Sydney wasn't supposed to remember that Jill basically is a killer and attacked her. That's the direction they were going to go with Sydney.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember that.
So if Sydney is mirroring her mother, like she has done subtly throughout the franchise in multiple movies, what if her daughter is one of the killers because she knows of her mother's indiscretions and she's the one who puts all this together?
Dude, you know what's crazy? Before you mentioned that was literally, I was going to ask you how you felt about if the daughter was the killer. That's crazy.
As crazy as it might sound, I like it. I like it. I want to see something. I want to see something different, yet so personal that connects throughout the entire franchise happen with this character, with Sydney's character and with her daughter. There has to be an element that's going to keep us coming back for these other sequels they're planning to do.
Right.
I mean, like, do I think that's going to happen? Not really. I don't. But is it impossible? No, because Kevin Williamson has wanted to do something like that before, just with a different character. And in my opinion, that would hit on so many more levels because it's Sydney's own daughter, as opposed to her cousin.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, so, I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting. Now, what about the young ones? How much of a role do you think Mark and the younger kids are going to play in Scream 7?
You know, bro, ever since I thought about the kids being in the movie, dude, I've always thought like how messed up it would be if like in the opening, like with this babysitting thing, like they kill the babysitter and then they kidnap all of Sydney's kids and hold them hostage the whole movie. That's personal. They could do that, and bro, that would be way more fucked up if it's the older daughter, bro.
I was just about to say that.
That would be
and it could work because she would have easy access to it.
Right, yeah.
Bro,
That's insane,
that would be
bro.
nuts.
I can't wait for this movie, bro.
Bro, I can't believe. I mean, it's gonna come fast, and people aren't believing that because I see some people are like, "Oh man, we got to wait a whole year and a half." Believe me, we'll be in 2026 before we know it.
Literally, bro, it's
We
gonna
will
be
be in 2026 before you know it. And this is another reason why I think the release date is a smart move, because now, and we know this, from January through March, they're filming for 2.5 months.
Mm-hmm.
So that gives you a total of about 10 months to promote this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's smart too, because think about it, bro. We got a stacked 2025 coming along, bro. We got Saw 11. Well, I mean, I've been hearing some up and down things, but hopefully we still get Saw 11. We have Thanksgiving 2.
Oh yeah.
I'm expecting the Halloween TV series to be out by next year. We'll see.
Oh yeah, I forgot
Um,
about that.
we got so much stuff coming in, so much horror content coming out in 2025. It's smart for Scream to separate itself from the competition. So by the time it comes out, everybody's just going to want to go see that. Nobody else is going to really want to go see no other horror movie. Everybody's going to want to go see Scream. They're going to make a lot of money. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
But the most important thing about that is it gives them enough time to get it right, man. And like I said earlier, I'm happy that Kevin Williamson, and we knew this was going to happen, he's stepping in with certain little writing issues. No, I want this redone. No, I want this redone. Because, and this is I personally think it was more James Vanderbilt than Guy Busick, but you got to give both of them equal accountability because they were both writing the script for Scream 5 and 6. There were things in those movies that did not make sense when it came down to the grand scheme of things.
Like having Quinn kill the big dude, like they shouldn't have did
Having Quinn even
And
attack
Amber.
Gale, supposedly.
that. And having Amber kill Dewey.
Oh,
They should have just had Richie do it.
And speaking of which, and this is no knock, I met Mikey Madison. I actually got her autograph.
Oh yeah.
Or whatnot. Most down to earth, humble human being I might have ever met in my life.
Sheesh.
The person you will meet in person is not Amber Freeman. I can assure you that. But bro, she's easily, I don't even want to say in person, maybe $120 soaking wet, maybe even less.
Yeah.
There's no way, bro. There's no way. That was the first thing. That was the first thing I thought of when I was getting my autograph and stuff, and she was standing up or whatever. And I'm just like, and they want us to believe she's the one who killed Dewey.
I mean, but you know Zach Cherry, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen his breakdown of Scream 5 of the?
I don't think I did get to see that. I don't think I checked it out.
So one of the big things, like he spent like 3 to 5 minutes like on this subject of but this character is too small for this. And he makes it very clear. He's like any notions of this killer could be too small. It doesn't matter anymore because it's almost like the killers gain superhuman abilities in the suit. Like he's not saying that as if that's canon, but that's how it's portrayed. Because think about it. Mrs. Loomis, if it's Mrs. Loomis that's chasing Gale in Scream 2. If you go back and look at that scene, bro, Ghostface is tall as fuck. That shouldn't be Mrs. Loomis, but it is.
Right.
You know? So like I kind of look at it like that. You have to suspend your disbelief like way too much. But I still wish they wouldn't have done that.
And that to me is the problem though, because I can suspend my disbelief to an extent, and I feel like that's how it should be. When you start to do things like that, it's like, no, I'm sorry. That's just that's not humanly possible. It's not. You have to make it believable. You have to make it believable enough, in my opinion. That's not believable enough. It's just not.
He was old. He was old and messed up.
Doesn't matter, bro. Well, all right, so this is my thing, or whatever. If that's the case, because who else did Amber attack in that movie? She attacked Sydney too, didn't she?
Yeah, and
Chad or whatever and stuff. She kind of. I'll put it this way: if she was, I feel like this. If she was strong enough to do that to Dewey, she should have been easily able to manhandle Sydney with no problem. She had to fight.
But think about it this
way.
She
had to fight. She had to struggle.
But think about it, bro. It didn't really take that much strength though to kill Dewey. Like she stabbed him in the stomach, stabbed him in the back. She didn't like rip him up. She like started to go up, but it didn't like fully gut him. And people say she lifted him, but he did not go off the ground.
Well, see, actually, and if you look, and it's the way that he's basically hunched over
Yeah, he's
that
like,
kind of makes it look like he is off the ground
right,
and
he's
stuff.
not.
It's the way he's hunched over.
Right.
But my thing is this: to cut through that type of tissue the way that she was, even it doesn't matter how far it goes up, because we've seen the amount of blood that was coming out, and bro, his intestines fell out.
No,
To
it didn't.
do no, or whatever, I'm pretty sure, or say it's still the amount of blood. I thought his intestines did hit out,
No.
but either way, the amount of blood that was accumulated, like a small wound isn't. I mean, an artery, yes. Did she hit arteries? Maybe. But that's just to me, it's just not. No, you have to have incredible. Even they said it in the original. When you're gutting someone, it takes a man to do something like that.
Right.
Like,
I mean,
bro, like that.
maybe she
Like,
can lift her own body weight though, bro.
I
Like you
mean,
said, 120 pounds. Maybe it's only 120 pounds of like force that it takes.
but this
You
is
know?
another reason why I don't believe it was Amber, and I think this trumps it all, or whatever. This trumps it all, and it has nothing to do with the size. Where was Amber's bulletproof vest in the final act? If you're going to wear it in that scene, why would you not wear it when you put the Ghostface costume on at the end?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, she was in a rush.
You
She
were
did
just
just get
getting
done.
shot at. You were just getting shot at by Sydney. Why would you not put it on?
Yeah, that makes sense. That might just
You
be
know
a
what I
plot
mean?
hole, bro. Because Amber and Richie are the most like non-prepared ghost faces of all time. So
Yeah.
they do be making stupid decisions.
Bro, like I'm telling you, like that's why Scream 7, in my opinion, it's working out for the better because Kevin Williamson is going to make sure stuff like that doesn't happen. Like the things that we talked about through both of those films. He's going to make sure stuff like that is not going to, he's not directing stuff like that. Like, no, we're
And
going
how
to
do
make
you
this make sense.
and how do you feel about like him being a director, like with having no? I mean, he has one movie, but that was like years ago. So it's basically like he's never done it before because he's out of practice. He only did it one time. How do you
Right.
feel about him being basically a new director and this being his like first film, technically in a way?
I think, I think because this is his creation
Mm-hmm.
from a writing standpoint. And I also think from what he learned with Wes, because even as a writer, even if you mostly write, you're taking lessons in direction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Visually. I
Yeah.
think that experience, and especially because this is his baby,
Right.
I think he's going to do just fine. You know what I mean? And so I really, I mean, could there be some growing pains? Yeah, sure. Because you made a great point. This is only going to be a second film that he's actually directed.
Right.
So there might be some growing pains, but I maybe I'm being biased. I just don't see it. I think that when you have a passion and when you love something and you know what you want it to look like, it's very hard to fuck it up.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? And that's why I don't think he's going to fuck it up. I really don't. You know what I mean? I think he's going to do a great job as director. And now that Guy Busick, I mean, yes, the story is from both Guy Busick and James Vanderbilt. But now that Guy Busick is basically writing it solo, I actually like that because I think a lot of the stuff that we got in those fifth and sixth films were like the bad stuff, were
Mm-hmm.
it came from James Vanderbilt.
Okay. Yes,
That's just my
I
opinion.
think I remember you saying that. It was you or somebody else. I
That's
think
just
you.
me. That's my opinion. I think it came from him. You know what I mean? I don't think it was so much Guy because to me, when you read how Guy writes from other movies that he's done, like Abigail, what's it called? On Ready or Not, it's a great writer.
Right. I
To
still haven't seen
me,
Ready or Not, but Abigail was
to
fire.
me, to me, I didn't see the same writer in Scream 5 and Scream 6 that I seen with those other movies. And I think that's halfway because he was writing it with James Vanderbilt
Right.
and stuff. So I'm glad. I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm kind of glad he's out the way because I think Guy has a vision that he wants to see come true fruition. And another reason why I think Stu's coming back because he's a Stu truther. He's been on record saying that he's always wanted to do a Scream movie where he could bring Stu back. So the stars, the sun, the moon, everything's aligning. Everything is aligning. Everything is aligning for a Stu Macher return. I just don't think now with the information that we are equipped with, I don't think we're getting a cult of Ghostface in Scream 7, bro. I don't.
Yeah, we probably aren't. I think that's where they were going with Scream 6.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I don't know, bro. I feel like, damn, what was I gonna ask? I don't know, bro. Like, do you think? I don't. What do you think they'll call like the Kirby spinoff? Like, you think they'll call it Scream and then have like a tagline, or?
Man, that's a good question, man. Oh man, that's a good one. Because I've been battling that too. When I seen the news, I'm like, what the hell are you going to call it? Oh, I can't answer that, man. They're going to take it. They're going to take a page from Saul, and call it Kirby Reed from the Book of Scream. Some shit like that. No, man, I don't know, man. That's a good question. Ooh, I mean, could it be maybe one of the working titles that they had for one of the previous films? Maybe one of
Well,
those.
one of them was like Blackmore, and then
Blackbird.
the Blackbird. I thought
I,
it was
I've heard, I've
Blackmore.
heard, I've heard of that. Supposed to be like, I guess that was the original. I guess the original working title for Scream 7, something like that.
Oh, huh.
Yeah, it was something like that. I know that for a fact. It was
'Cause I remember
that was
I
supposed
remember
to be.
Blackmore was my bad. I was about to say I remember Blackmore was Scream 6, and then I forgot what Scream 5 was.
Scream 5, yeah, I forget what that was
It was
too.
something goofy. I
Yeah,
feel like.
yeah, I forget, but they could go one of the working titles. That's a good question, though, Jordan. We'll have to wait and see, man, because that's something they are going to have to battle with. Like, in my opinion, what are you going to call it? Like,
Right.
I feel like you have to call it something other than Scream.
All right.
Like,
I don't know. Still screaming. Still screaming or something like that. I feel like I gotta have
no.
scream in it though.
I mean, if you're going the Cult of Ghostface route with Kirby, maybe you just call it Cult of Ghostface from the Files of Kirby Reed.
Maybe. I don't
Something like
know,
that.
man.
I don't know.
Huh.
I mean, she's supposed to be this big FBI agent, so I mean,
Hmm.
I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting to see what they're going to name it. Um, what do you think about Dewey? What do you think about David Arquette possibly returning in some shape, way, or form? Like,
I think he
I'll
should
ask you
be.
this: do you want to see Dewey back in full capacity? Which is why I said if you wanted to do a legacy sequel, picking up after 1, 3, and 4, you can do that. Or do you just want to see maybe like a flashback? I know some people out there have said maybe if you're going to keep Scream 7 within the timeline, like the rumor timeline is that it's 5 years after Scream 6, that if you're going to do that, maybe in Scream 5, Dewey did a Randy style video from
I
Scream
think they
3.
should do. I think it should be like Sydney or Gail should have like a dream
Mm-hmm.
of. You know what's crazy? I've been thinking about like have you ever seen like the video game, The Walking Dead video game?
I've seen it. I've never like really like I've seen like highlights and stuff of it, people playing it, but I've never got into it.
Dude, there's this scene in like the season 4. Yeah, in season 4, where like the main character, she has like a flashback of the dude who was helping her at the beginning of the apocalypse, Lee, and it was basically her as a child, and basically they were on like a train because that was like where one of their best memories was and stuff, and then
Okay.
and then like they had a scene where it cut to him and it cut back to her, and then like she was like grown up. What if my little brother right there? What if they had a scene where Gail had like it's like maybe she got fucked up by Ghostface and she's like kind of dreaming, and like it goes back to the Scream 2 theater, and it's her and Dewey like chatting, and he's like giving her strength to like keep moving forward and stuff.
Hmm.
But like with AI, maybe they can actually make her look younger and make it look good, or they could just like have it just them like now. You know what I mean? Like they
Right.
were in Scream 5. But that would be dope as hell if like AI is good enough to make it look not trash. And it's
Right.
like in this Scream 2 Gale or something, and it's because that was the moment where they first like really like reignited their love after Scream 1, so that would
Yeah.
make sense. Or it could
Right.
be at the spot where they found Neil Prescott's car or something like that. It could be something great like that.
That's that's another thing I want to ask you about too. Now, the movie is said to be apparently set in two, like the movie's supposed to be in two different locations.
Hmm.
And if I'm not mistaken, Seattle, where Sydney and them are living.
Hmm.
Do you
I
think we go
thought
back
so.
to Woodsboro?
No, nope. I think it's gonna be set in Seattle. But you know what's crazy?
So you don't think
My
we go
little
back to Woodsboro at all?
not for this one. I mean, I don't think it makes sense unless unless it is Stu, then I feel like Stu's gonna try to lead her to Woodsboro for some reason,
And
or
that's
if
what I
it's
think.
somebody. You know what's crazy? Hold on, real quick. None of that what we said at the beginning of the live stream now makes sense at all because they said they were doing a time jump from Scream 6, so it has to be after Scream 6.
That's what they said. That's what they said. But if you're going to do it in the style of Halloween, like that's the idea. And you're going, because my thing is this going forward, if you're going to focus on Sydney and her daughters or whatever, you're still going to run into the problem of the core four. You're still going to run into that problem. People are
Right.
still going to want to see that story finished. That's just what it is.
Right. I still want to I have hope like maybe when Spyglass sells the rights, maybe. But I don't know. Hey, I don't know if you see my
I
little
don't
brother.
know,
He
man. Like,
commented.
that's my thing. Like, okay, so 5 years has passed since Scream 6, right?
Wait,
As this,
five
that's what
years?
the that's what the supposed time jump's supposed to be.
Because Scream 6 takes place in like I thought it was supposed to be 30 years. I thought it was supposed to take place in 2026.
It is. But the time jump of the storyline is supposed to take place 5 years after Scream 6. That's the rumor.
And
So
then Scream 6
basically,
takes place in 2023 or
yes.
2022?
So 2023. So the storyline is
Oh,
supposed to be picking up in 2028, even though the movie
oh,
itself is releasing in 2026.
oh, okay. I didn't
I
realize that.
don't, that's why I don't like that whole idea of a 5 year time jump because it's like, okay, we get a 5 year time jump from the events of six, but at the same time, like you're going to have to reintroduce Sydney anyway. So why do a time jump?
Maybe to
Like,
make her kids. I mean, yeah,
I mean,
actually, no,
just to
that's not
make
a
her
good.
kids, I mean, to make her
Because
kids older, cool. I can understand that.
well, actually, that wouldn't make sense because, bro, literally, for all we know, freaking, she could have had a kid conceived a day after the ending of Scream 3. So the kid could potentially literally be like 25, 26.
Right.
So they don't need to do a time jump. So
I
that
mean,
wouldn't work either.
from what they're telling us, from what the rumors are anyway, her oldest daughter is 16 years old, which
Yeah.
would have made her by the time that Scream 5 happened, 6 years, she would have been 9 years old. No, she would have been 10 years old.
11.
10,
11.
10 11 years old, 10, around 10, 11 years old, or whatever.
Yeah.
They haven't revealed how old the other two kids are, but her oldest kid is supposed to be a teenager. So then
Right.
that means by the time 2028, happens from a storyline standpoint, if they do go with the 5 year time jump, that she was born in what, 2012, which would have been
Uh,
a year after Scream 4.
oh, yeah. Yeah, that would be awesome.
You know
Huh.
what I mean? So, man, I don't know, man. Like, it's going to be so fascinating to see how they piece all of this together.
Right. And shit, what was I gonna say? Uh, Freak. Oh, she could also have a son for all we know. Because remember, she just said taking the girls to school, which means at least two. But we know she probably has like three or something like that.
Well, yeah, no,
Probably.
the original plan, and from what I'm reading, they're going with is that she doesn't. She has three daughters or whatnot.
Right. Right.
Yeah, she has three daughters, so that's what it looks like it's heading for. I mean, your Mark idea. I mean, what if he messed around and fathered a kid and didn't know about it? Because see, this is the
Oh,
thing. This is
dude.
the thing. This is the
This
thing.
kid
In
could be
Scream
Roman.
4, in Scream 4, we don't see no ring on Sydney's finger.
Right. Right.
So there could have been a time where they maybe wasn't together, and then eventually they met back up, and then the rest is history.
And then Sydney doesn't know about like a kid. And what if that's like the new Roman? Like he abandoned the kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that would be awesome. They should do that, dude.
And he's basically getting revenge, and it would be different because it's not Sydney who's the one at the hands of the revenge. It's Mark.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, even though it stays the same with the revenge
Dude,
motive, it's not against Sydney.
that's actually perfect, bro. Because like he could be going at like it could be a son or a daughter. They could be going after Sydney's kids and Sydney trying to kill
How
them.
crazy? How crazy would it be if it would be an offspring of Mark Kincaid and his name's Roman Kincaid?
Oh, that would be fucking stupid. I would be so pissed.
Let's
I'd be like,
go.
bro, this is so dumb.
Not only
They gotta do that.
not only is he Mark's son, he has Sydney's brother's name. Like, come on,
Right.
like,
Bro, they gotta do that now, bro. That's too
and
perfect.
if, and this is saying if you're not going to go the Stu route, you could have it be Mark's jilted lover and the kid.
Oh yeah. But I feel like it would just be the kid, and then like, but it'll be more perfect because like the kid would be interacting with the siblings and all that, because
Right.
they will learn from that mistake in season three. In Scream three, dude,
Right.
Scream three could have been the best Scream we ever had, bro. Loki, like it's such a good movie despite all its flaws, and it's like, bro. If they just had Sydney interact with Roman throughout the movie, Roman would have easily been the best killer.
Bro,
Easily.
I feel like, and I like Scream 3 a lot. You know what I mean? I feel like it gets a lot of undeserved flack. I know it was a little bit more goofy than the other two, but it's still a great time. When I
Right.
go back and I think about Scream 3, I feel like they missed a tremendous opportunity by not making Jennifer Jolie the killer of Roman, because then it would have tied in perfectly with the plan that, you know what I mean? Well, at least what Scream 6 hinted at of Gale Weathers being a killer. You know what I mean?
Wait.
Remember,
Say that last part again.
it would have went in nicely with that little tagline in Scream 6 about Gale would have made a perfect killer. If
Oh
Jennifer
yeah.
Jolie would have been revealed as Roman's accomplice, it's basically Gale Weathers being a killer because she plays Gale Weathers instead.
Oh yeah. Hey, bro, have you seen the TV show, right? The Scream TV series,
Of course.
bro. Piper, like Loki, they could do like a version of Piper. She was basically like Gale Weathers and Roman in a way,
Bro,
but as a killer.
bro, you said that so perfectly, bro. I always thought that. And she is so good, in my opinion. Like, that character, she was the shit. Think about that character real quick. She was the killer in plain sight because she was a reporter.
Right. She
But
was
you
like,
never would have thought it. I
right.
didn't think that shit. I'll be honest, when she pulled the mask off and said, "Hey, sis," I'm like, what the fuck?
Bro, she
I'm
was like
like,
Nancy, Roman, and Gale.
good point.
Yeah. Bro, that's sick.
Real quick,
That would be
Denisha, I'm doing okay. I'm, just hanging in there, trying to get back in the thick of things. I'm really happy that me and Jordan got to link up today, and we're just, we're just shooting, we're just flying. You know what I mean? It's going great.
yeah, man. This is
Yo,
fun,
Dustin.
bro. Hey, what's
Phantom
up,
Zero Alt
Destination?
said I like that idea. I think
Yeah, that
the idea he was talking about was the one you were on a few moments ago.
yeah, that's my little brother. He's in the room with
Okay.
me. Yeah,
All
because
right.
he
What's
he
up,
even stepped
Phantom?
out of the room and made a face at me. That's why I was laughing. But because he's a big fan of the Walking Dead game too. Um,
Ah,
yeah, but dude, I think that would be a perfect way to bring Dewey back. Like, and it could be like super cinematic and artsy too, because like she's literally would be like hallucinating being in like important places that we've been in a franchise that mean a lot to her and Dewey, like their biggest moments type shit.
right.
That would be amazing, I think.
It would be, man. Like I think Dewey is gonna. I think he's going to be in this movie. I
Hmm.
personally, I mean, if you're not going to give us a flashback, if you're not going to give us a video, can you at least have the killer call Gale using his voice?
Yes, that would be amazing,
Like, bro, can you understand just how intense and how heartbreaking in one moment that would be?
dude. That's great, bro. They need me to write one of these movies, bro. Damn.
Yo, what up, Destin? Destin from Destination Station saying Kincaid was not unconscious when they was laying down. He played possum and was the second killer. Ooh, that's interesting. Well,
I don't know.
okay.
He actually had a
So,
wound on his head, though,
so okay.
right?
Okay. So let's talk about this for a second, right? Because this is a hot topic within the fandom. That somehow, some way, Mark Kincaid is actually the second killer in Scream 3, and that will be revealed in Scream 7. How do you feel about that?
That's stupid, bro. I feel like they should not complicate. Like, unless they're gonna do something where they reveal who the second was, like as far as Roman's accomplice. But I don't think it should be Mark. That's I don't. That'd be so dumb. Well, like maybe it was a thing where like he changed his mind. I always thought that would be cool for a killer. Like one of the killers, like they actually didn't mean to grow close to like one of the victims, and then they kind of switch on the other killer, and then that killer like takes them out. Like they could do something like that where the other killer was supposed to reveal themselves at some point, but they just didn't.
Right.
But Mark being a killer, I think that would be so bad, bro. I'd be like,
Okay.
oh,
I,
like
I'm
this
gonna
is some.
I'm gonna persuade you or whatnot. But before I try to persuade you, I'm gonna hit the bathroom real quick. Just do me a solid. Just kind of keep the audience entertained. And then when I get back, I'm going to try to persuade you and entertain why this idea, in my opinion, could work because it could be something different if they executed it in this way. So give me about a second, and I'll be right back.
All right, bet. My little brother being stupid over there, bro. What are you doing, bro? What are you doing, bro? No, y'all couldn't see him. So what's up, Destin and Val? Val's used. Okay. Ah, 1000% facts. There doesn't. Kincaid got what he wanted all these years. He was obsessed with Sydney. Oh, you think that's maybe why he stopped trying to kill her? If he did turn out to be the killer? I don't know, bro. Probably in a little bit, I'm probably gonna have to use the bathroom too. But don't let me blow my nose. I'll go ahead and mute it for you while I blow my nose. Hold on.
All right, I am back now. Real quick, hey, what's up, Val? Good to see you. Val saying he is and he will. Well, I'm going to entertain this idea because I think there's a way that it can be done or whatnot. But real quick, again, Val, thank you so much for stopping in. It is so good to see you. It's been a while, I know. So, you know what I mean? Hopefully, like I said, I'm starting to get back more into the thick of things, have some things lined up. or whatnot in terms of more content. I do want to talk about other movies that, like I said to Jordan, backstage, I have literally kept up on everything in terms of all the new movies that was coming out this year and all that stuff. I just haven't been able to really talk about it and stuff. So I'm going to be doing a lot of catching up with stuff that is coming out this year. And I'm excited because I'm ready to get back in the thick of things. I missed you guys.
Yeah, we need to have more streams than just this, bro. I'm telling you right now,
Bro,
man.
absolutely. Now,
Yeah.
why I think this theory that Mark Kincaid could have been the second killer and that he could be the killer in Scream 7 and it could be revealed is because
Your camera's off, by the way.
yeah, or whatnot. But the reason why I think this is because in Scream 3, there seemed to be some type of secret obsession that Mark had with Sydney. And I think they hinted upon that, when she came across her police file and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I think it could actually work, especially in terms of like doing something different, is because let's say he was Roman's accomplice. Well, then obviously he got away with it. But not only did he get away with it, he ended up marrying the chick that he was trying to help Roman kill, having kids to her, so on and so forth, or whatever. What if,
Right.
just what if, and this is why I say I expect there to be some changes with Sydney, and this is where my little theory with her having an affair comes into play. What if she is having these affairs? And Mark, she doesn't think Mark knows about it, but he does know about it. And he's just like,
I think that ruins Sydney's character a little bit.
I think, in all honesty, bro, we're in for some ruining of Sydney's character. I think they're gonna, bro. Listen, this is the truth. They have to do something different. They have to. She can't be the same Sydney Prescott that we've seen in every single movie. She just can't. I'm sorry, because then it becomes the same old, same old. What is there new? What new ground are we breaking with this character? Are we, if we're keeping her the same good old lovable fucked up Sydney Prescott, everybody's favorite little victim, like Cotton says?
I know how.
We have to do something different, bro. For
Here's what
better,
we do.
or for worse, that's what Halloween was actually successful at when it came to Laurie's character. They made her character a love-hate type of character, and it worked well, if you ask me.
Here's how I think we can go. They can go about it. They can do something where it, in a way, messes up her character, but it significantly changes the way we look at her or think about her, without ruining her character. Maybe it's something to do with what she did when she was young, and she like regrets it. I feel like that's something that they could do instead of making it be like, "Oh, I cheated on you," like before Scream 4 or after Scream 4, and we had a break, and I'm still cheating. Like, you know what I mean? It can't still be a part of her character. I feel like.
I think being a good character could still be a part of her character too. I'm not sitting there saying there should be drastic changes, but let's really be honest. How many times are we going to keep getting killers that are coming after her that is just based on her past? You know what I mean?
Right.
Over something that, how can I say, how many times are we going to punish her for something that honestly wasn't her fault?
Right. I mean, that's why the Mark thing is so perfect. They should either have it about Mark be the main target or the kid. Oh, by the way, bro, your camera's off. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, I know. I'm keeping it off for
Okay.
a second because I'm smoking a cigarette. I don't like to
Okay,
smoke
that's
cigarettes
fine. I didn't know. My
camera.
bad.
No, you're good, buddy.
All right.
But no, I think there's in a dark, sinister way. And I understand why Val and Destin like the idea and think it could work. Because think about it, bro, it would be different in the terms of this is a guy who we thought was obviously a good guy. He married her, he had kids to her, but come to fucking find out he was the killer all along. He helped her brother try to kill her. And now, because of something that she did, in my opinion, kind of going the Maureen Prescott route, he's furious because he felt like he's feeling like no matter what I do, no matter what I try to do to make you happy, even though you don't know I'm this killer, I'm still, you don't know anything about the truth about me. I'm still not good enough for you. So now I am going to fucking reveal myself that I was involved this entire time. In a dark, twisted, sinister way, I can kind of see that being acceptable because that's something that it's very personal. It's very personal. And we haven't really seen nothing like that before. Basically, what I'm saying is this. We would basically be seeing Sydney get punished over something that she actually did do.
Right.
Like, I think that it's time that we kind of give something like that. I do.
You think Mark would still be like actually psychotic, like and like basically, because if he was the Scream 3 killer, you think he just been like dormant and then like because I feel like cheating. I understand how fucked up that is, but I feel like a regular person would not kill over that. I don't know.
It's
Maybe
not.
not.
But see, the reason why, but see, if you use it in the context of, you basically did to your family what your mother, you did to our family what your mother did to your family. You know what I mean?
Oh,
That
yeah.
type of thing. You know what I mean? It wasn't just about the cheating. It's the fact, how could you do something that you've been through yourself to our own family, to our own children? You know what I mean?
Right.
Betrayal. People, this is the truth about Scream. As much as it is about revenge, it's also about betrayal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I think there are ways that they could even further expand on that whole betrayal aspect with Mark's character.
Right.
You know? And this is another thing, Jordan, real quick. According to the rumors, Mark is supposed to find the babysitter dead in the house.
Oh yeah.
Not Mark and Sydney. Not Mark, Sydney, and the eldest daughter. Supposedly just Mark. Supposedly, allegedly.
Damn.
So,
Huh.
I mean, I'm not sitting there saying they're setting it up for that, but I'll say this. It makes you question, okay, if that does end up happening, then where is Sydney and where's the oldest daughter at this time? Why is Mark the only one finding his dead body in his house?
Huh.
It kind of makes you feel like something like what you're saying. Maybe it has something to do with Mark. Maybe this killer has something to do directly with Mark. If he's the one to find the body first, that does kind of feel like that, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Yep. They probably know his schedule and shit.
Bro, listen, who would know his schedule better than himself? I had to, bro. I had to throw it out there, man. But I listen, I personally, I don't want to see Mark be a killer because, and the only reason why I say that now is because we did just see Patrick do Thanksgiving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't want them to I don't want to sit there. I don't want it to feel like Scream is copycatting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And stuff. So I don't know if Mark is going to be the killer. Apparently, he's not even going to have a big role in this movie. But hey, I think anything is. What did Mark himself say in Scream 3? All bets are off.
Oh yeah.
Anything can happen. And let's really be honest, bro. I mean, at least for me, I thought Mark was one of the killers in Scream 3.
Yeah.
There was moments, bro, when
a
you
lot of
put
people
all
did.
the red herrings, together, Mark to me came off as a better killer even than Roman until the reveal.
Right. Yeah.
Like, come on. What my boy said, either you're going to obstruct justice or you're going to put me in contact with her. So, where is she? Like, my boy said,
Right.
he got all low-winded and creepy. It's like, damn, bro, you didn't have to, you know what I mean, ask for her like that. Like, shit. Like, damn, man. But this is a good question, though, from TJ.
Yeah. What's up?
TJ says, here's a great question. How did Mark get Sydney's file when Dewey removed it from Woodsboro Police Department? Now, I do think that is a really good question. But to answer that question, I think when maybe Mark threatened Dewey with obstruction of justice, I think you can make the argument that Dewey decided to give him her file because he is the police and he is on the case.
Right.
Even though they didn't show or say that, I think you can assume that that's what Dewey did in order to further help the investigation. But that is a great question because we never did get confirmation that Dewey gave him that file. You know what I mean? So it does beg the question, how did he get it? So I can understand why you would ask that question, TJ. That's a hell of a question. I like it a lot.
Huh.
TJ also asks, do you think Dewey died with the truth about knowing the truth if Stu is really dead or alive? Yes, I do. I agree. I 100% believe that if Stu is alive, that Dewey took that to his grave. I do. And some will say, well, why wouldn't he tell Sydney? Why wouldn't he tell Gail? Because you got to think about it, especially when it comes to police and stuff like that. You gotta go by the shield. You know what I mean? You can't say nothing. If we tell you that you are not legally obliged or illegally obliged to speak no evil or say anything or whatever, in order to keep your career, to keep your job, you got to be quiet.
Right.
So it's not impossible to think at all that Dewey took that truth about Stu to his grave. It's not impossible to think that at all.
And as far as like everything I wanted to mirror in Scream 3, it's the voice changer, and I want that idea that we just talked about. I actually want to see that low key. I want to see like a Mark's long lost son or daughter come back to like fuck up his new family, like kill his new family, stuff like that, and torment them. And then at
Right.
the end, it's the reveal that were mirrored perfectly. I feel like without making it seem unbelievable for Sydney, you know.
No, I don't think that that's a bad idea at all. I think whoever this killer is, if you're going to make it personal, just if you're going to make it extremely personal and you're going to dub it the most personal Ghostface yet, then this better be personal. To me, the motive has to be something that not only makes sense, but you're going to feel it. You know what I mean? It can't just be well, okay, well, that's the motive, but that's just the motive. You know what I mean? It can't feel like that. It has to feel like damn, this really is personal. I see why this killer is coming after Sydney. You know what I mean? That's what I wanted to feel like. I wanted to feel like the same way you felt about it with Billy. As despicable Billy was, when he uttered the words that he uttered about Maureen and his father, you felt that. You felt the motive. You felt the reasoning because it's like, damn, you know, even though if you might not act upon it the way he would, if you were going through that same thing in real life as a child with your parents, you feel that shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's what they have to do. You know what I mean? And if this is going to be the most personal Ghostface yet. Now, let's talk about what type of killer do you want to see in Scream 7? Because a lot has been made that over the last few Scream movies that the killers have gotten a little too goofy. And I agree with that sentiment. You know what I mean?
I mean, you don't feel that way about 5 and 6, do you?
I do.
I feel like they've been really serious in the last 3 movies, I think. What I want is I want a no games killer, and I want the killer to be just exactly like Kieran was in the TV series. Bro, the TV series will always be just so fucking perfect to me, bro. I will never understand why they didn't fucking do a season 3. That shit was so perfect. I feel like there should be Kieran style kills. You remember the one in the hotel where he kills that one guy?
Yep.
With the corkscrew. They
Yep.
need stuff like that, bro, because that makes it look like the killer is more professional and like he knows what he's doing. He literally had freaking plastic on the wall and shit, bro.
Right.
Literally rose up and he like, I'm like, bro, that's crazy.
See,
Stuff like
why
that.
I feel like the last few killers, especially when it comes to Scream 6, they were not, I would put it this way. It's not that you didn't get a sense of seriousness out of them. I wasn't intimidated.
Right.
You know, and I think that that's the biggest thing is that those killers, even though there was some serious level to them, to me, they were a little bit too goofy. Like, I laugh at it more now because I do think it's funny. I thought it was funny originally. It's even more funny to me now. Dermot Mulroney's performance as Detective Bailey when we get the reveal.
Oh, I'm talking about with the mask on, but yeah, outside of the mask, they're goofy as
That's
fuck.
what I'm saying. Like, in terms of outside of the mask, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh.
outside of the mask, I feel like these last few movies, the killers are not as intimidating and they are a little bit more goofy. Like,
Yeah, I agree with that.
you know what I mean?
'Cause
Like,
even though,
my boy's sitting there.
sorry, go ahead.
Of
Go
course
ahead.
it's me. Of course it's me. Like,
Oh yeah,
like,
he was like, yeah, me.
yeah.
Wait, yeah. No, he was like, yeah, of course, me. I'm like, bro, what? Bro,
Right.
you know what's the most awkward line in the whole movie? You remember when
Right.
they went in the theater? And he was like, "You've all been through so much." I'm
Yeah.
like, what?
Right.
Bro.
Right. It's like,
And they
was
were,
that even necessary for you to say?
bro. I would if I was in that room, I'd be like, "Yeah, that motherfucker's a killer, bro. He's a
Right.
killer."
Like, bro, like, you know what I mean? But the most dead giveaway, and this is what I hated about, and I like Radio Silence. I think there's a good group of directors. But as a director, I feel like you should still have some input in the writing.
Right? Yeah.
And what I hate about it is that they were so willing and so okay with the fact that they knew that some of the shit that they were doing was goofy. Like, oh, we knew we were being super obvious with the killers and we wanted that. Why? What's the point in who done it if you're going to make the shit obvious?
Right.
Like, so the biggest thing for me, what really took the cake when I was watching Scream 6 in the theater, and I said, I hope in the next one we really get some legit killers, is when he
Right.
starts crying when Quinn supposedly dies. It's like the fakest cry I've ever seen, ever. Like, there's Lois, my son. No, my daughter. It's like, motherfucker. I know it's you at that point.
Oh
Those
my god.
those tears.
I'm not
Like,
gonna lie, I never clocked him even once, bro. I swear, the
bro,
only person I clocked was like Ethan.
I'm gonna be honest. I clocked all three of them when Quinn said to Tara, "My brother died." When my brother died, my father, he did this. But when she said, "When my brother died," I'm like, "Yep, that's Richie's sister. The cop is the dad, and Ethan is." I already knew going into it, me personally, and I was standing on business with this throughout, that Ethan was going to be a killer because he followed Matthew Lillard, and he kind of has that frame. And I don't want to say the look, like he looks like Matthew when he was younger, but he kind of did.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And stuff. So as soon as he followed Matthew Lillard on Twitter or whatever and stuff like that, I'm like, yep, he's a killer.
Right.
I didn't know he was going to be Richie's brother. I just knew he was involved.
Yeah. Hey, how do you feel about this? I feel like because bro, Mrs. Loomis got to be my least favorite killer, to be honest. Like Loki,
Really?
yeah. I Loki,
Whoa.
the only people I put below her is like maybe Ethan and maybe Detective Bailey, maybe. But you want to know why I think, even though it's technically the same motive as Scream 2, why I think it works better in Scream 6?
Why?
Because Mrs. Loomis, even though I've always kind of like, justified it by she's just fucking crazy and she like left him and then was like, damn, I shouldn't have left him and now my son's dead. The
Right.
reason why I was always still kind of clowning her a little bit, like, bro, that's so stupid. You clearly do not care that much. But in Scream 6, what really sold it for me and what was like, okay, I kind of see where they're coming from. It's kind of implied that they wouldn't have done anything just like based off of the fact that she killed him. It was the way she killed him. She overkilled the fuck out of him. He said it wasn't. He
Yeah.
said it wasn't until I saw what you did to him that I knew he had to
Right.
die.
Yeah.
Bro, she really overdid it, bro.
Now, if you're gonna say it, you gotta say it how he said it. Though, what was said? It wasn't until I saw what you did to him. I knew you had to fucking die. You had to fucking be punished. Like, yo, that's what I'm saying, though. Like, it's moments like that where he should have been dead ass serious and scary and intimidating, that he was just funny to me and goofy. You know what I mean? Like, he sounded like, to me in that moment, like a father scolding their child. You know what I mean? Like, you disrespected me, I gotta beat you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's how he sounded. And I'm just like, man, like, I just want killers. I want killers that are like, for instance, Quinn. Bro, I wish we would have gotten more Quinn.
Yeah, bro, she would have been a great killer.
Bro, she was a great killer. They should have had, in so many ways, I would even argue that you could have just had her and Bailey. You could have left Ethan out of it. Or you could have just had Ethan or her. You know what I mean?
God.
Like, and put her as the forefront. Like, bro, she checked all the boxes of what you want a Ghostface killer to be revealed as. She was sinister. She wasn't fucking around. She wasn't laughing she wasn't playing no games.
Right.
You know what I mean? The other two were having a fucking giggle fest, a chuckle fuck laugh. I mean, like Chad said, they were chuckle fucks. You know what I mean? So,
oh God, bro, Dormont was like some.
like I can't express enough. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we need killers that are going to be believably intimidating and stuff like that. Like, that's what I want for Scream 7. If it's one killer, if it's two killers, or if you still do go to Cult of Ghostface route and you're just going to extend it with Kirby's movie, because that's another thing they could do. They could just extend it through Kirby's universe, the whole Cult of Ghostface thing, and just do it one time in Sydney's storyline. But you got to give me killers that are intimidating. Like, I love how you bring up the Stream TV series killers, Kieran, Piper. Those were intimidating killers. Like, they were.
Kieran's one of my favorites of all time, bro. Like, his reveal was great. The way he just kind of like, it's almost like he was acting and he was like kind of like having a reaction of having to hold in laughter for so long and shit.
Right.
Like, he was acting the whole time. Like, damn, bro. Hey.
Like, the TV show definitely did right with the killers. I mean, excluding season 3. I don't talk about season 3.
Oh yeah, that shit was terrible. Season 3 was terrible.
Whenever you decide to make Tyga a Ghostface killer, you know it's going to be bullshit.
Like, you say, wait, hold on, Marcus.
Yep. But yeah, y'all, it's. I just hope it's believable killers, and I think we can all like believable, intimidating killers, and I think we can all agree with that. TJ saying thanks to Val. There was so much in that file had me wondering, and I do want to bring this up real quick. Val saying I think that was his own personal file of Sydney, not from the police department. That's very possible. Like I said a few moments ago when I brought up that question from TJ about how did Mark get the file. You know what I mean? I think that that's a great question to ask. You know what I mean? I just feel like personally, if they were to ever explain that, they would probably say, oh, well, Dewey gave it to him, when basically he slapped Dewey with the obstruction of justice charge, and to further help them with the case, Dewey gave them the file, and stuff. But
what was
good, man.
What was
Still
we
great
just
question.
on?
Excuse me. Basically like the killers and like intimidating and being like, not less goofy. You know what I mean? Being a lot less goofy.
Mrs. Loomis was kind of goofy though. I'm not gonna lie.
And you brought up Mrs. Loomis. See, me personally, I didn't like the whole motive of revenge, because at the end of the day, you still did abandon your son.
Right.
You know what I
That's
mean?
why I like Six's motive better.
Like, and this is the thing about why Six's motive, in terms of using the same motive, but why they did it better, is because one, Bailey didn't abandon his son, and two, he helped his son build what is his stab empire.
Right.
You know what I mean? He actually had a hand in it. You know what I mean? So they actually did do it a little bit better. But in my opinion, Mrs. Loomis was far and above a better killer. Like, I think why I like Mrs. Loomis personally, I didn't think it was her. I didn't think it was Debbie Salt, man. Like,
right. Me neither.
I mean, if the killer is repeating the murders from Woodsboro, it's just possible that killers could be from Woodsboro. That's all. Like,
right.
I mean, like, you didn't expect that character to be what she subsequently became to be. But Laurie Metcalf, to me, she killed it. Like, to me, she had some really good dialogue. You know what I mean? That I don't think she gets credit for. two birds, one stone. You know what I mean? And stuff like, it's called a makeover. You should try it. Looking a little tired yourself there, Gail. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, Mickey, this not going to be a trial.
like, I like Mrs. Loomis because she was to me, maybe you can argue alongside Stu. To me, she was the most like surprising killer. Like, I did not expect her at all.
Right.
At all. You know what I mean? I will say, when you go back and watch Scream 2, I didn't see Jill neither, though, man. I really didn't see her coming.
Right. Me neither.
I didn't see Charlie coming neither. I thought Charlie was going to be the new Randy, and that the only difference is that he got the girl.
Right.
You know what I mean? When my boy pulled up, hey, Kirby, this is making a move. I'm like,
oh, shit.
Like, whoa, like, damn, Charles, like, what the fuck, bro? But okay. But that's why I like Charlie so much, and I'm so high on Charlie, because for me, I know some said, oh, it was easy to pinpoint Charlie for them. For me, it wasn't, because I guess I was so blindsided by the fact that he reminded me so much of Randy and stuff or whatnot. But man, he was a great Ghostface killer. When you talk about in costume, bro.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Dude,
So I love Charlie.
Yeah, Loki, I'm starting to like Charlie now. Now I'm
Yo,
like,
bro, I'm telling you, he put in work, bro. He put in work. Like,
bro,
that
he
fool was
basically killed
firing.
everybody.
Right.
Basically did, except Trevor and himself, obviously.
Right. And this is why I say, now think about this. And I'm not saying they're going to do it. But imagine, so let's say if they don't go the Cult of Ghostface route in Scream 7, but they obviously are going to do it for Kirby or whatever and stuff. And let's say if they don't bring back, because if you do bring back Stu, then if you do bring back Stu in 7, you can't bring another dead killer back in the spinoff, because it's going to be the same thing. You know what I mean? It's not coming off as something new. But if you don't bring Stu back in 7, and if you don't go the whole Cult of Ghostface route that we all assumed was going to happen for 7, and you do it for the spinoff, bro, for this day and age, where we are in social media, who would be a better killer to bring back from the dead than Charlie Walker? Jill said it herself. He's the idea man. You know what I mean? She just manipulated him enough to believe that she was on his side. He was the idea man. He was the one posting and doing all that shit with social media and the videos. When you think about it in that aspect, especially when you hear Kirby saying, I've been tracking Samantha's social media. To me, if you're going to go in the whole Cult of Ghostface route, and I'm not saying that Charlie has to be an active killer. I'm talking about in terms of like doing what they were going to do for Stu. Maybe he's alive, but he's locked up. But, he has a lot of people who are a fan of him in jail. I don't take into account what the murder board says. I don't. You know what I mean? I don't. I don't take into account what the murder board says, because there can easily be a way to explain how somebody survived their death. I say it all the time about Charlie. You know what I mean? Because people say, oh, he even says it himself. Oh, you stabbed me in the heart. In that moment of getting stabbed in the chest, you are most likely, as a human being, feeling and thinking you're getting stabbed in the heart. That doesn't mean you got exactly stabbed in the heart.
Right.
That could be an instant overreaction.
Right.
The way the knife was placed, to me, that wasn't in the heart. And even if it was, I've already proven through, research and stuff that you can survive that. So,
yeah,
if you're not going to do the Cult of Ghostface for Stu, if you're not going to do that for Stu, why not Charlie? Kirby?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
hell yeah, dude.
I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do. I can't wait till we start getting some more like official information, man, because I just want to know. I just wish I could be a fly on the wall. I wish I could be a fly on the wall, buzz right over to Kevin Williamson and Nev Campbell and all them, wherever they're having these meetings, and stuff, and then buzz right back here, transform back into a human, and be like, all right, guys, so this is what's going on.
Right.
Like, I really wish, like, you know what I mean? But that's the best part about not being a fly on the wall is that we can guess and theorize along the way and throw stuff at the wall and see if anything we talk about sticks for the movie.
Right. For real, that's part of the fun of the Scream movies,
Yeah,
See,
right, TJ. Definitely. Like in
hey,
terms of like Dewey taking that to his grave and stuff. I'm about to say, Jordan, I know you have to go to work soon. So if you have to go to work, just let me know, brother, and I'll get ready to start shutting down the stream and stuff like that.
well, you said me?
Yeah, because I know you said you had to work at 5:45 your time, I think you said.
No. Wait, when
Oh,
did
all
I say
right, good,
that?
good, good. The other night, I mean, when we were on Pam's chat box, I think you said you worked 5:45 to 11:45.
Oh, no. Okay, so I was supposed to work 5:45 to a.m. to 11:45
Oh,
a.m.
okay,
But
gotcha.
we didn't end up doing that because we had an event at my job. It was for the 30th anniversary of my job being a business. So I went to that today. So I don't have to work today.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So I say we'll go to probably like 6:30 with another 15 minutes. Is that cool with you?
Yeah.
All right,
For sure,
cool,
for
cool,
sure.
cool. All
Yeah,
right,
because I
so
don't
yeah,
gotta be anywhere right now, technically. So
all right. TJ saying bingo, the sheriff and Dewey knew it. Yeah, I think that's in terms of Stu, that it's really possible that it could have just been covered up that he's alive, especially when you obviously his family has money. If they're portrayed as powerful people, we know what that does. You know what I mean? They can cover up just about anything with $1. So I definitely think that I think that the sheriff and Dewey knowing Stu was alive after the fact and not telling anyone is definitely viable.
right. That makes sense. Like if there
Yes,
was
I
money,
agree, TJ.
or if
Stop
there it was like
goofy.
legal.
Right. Stop goofy ghost face crap. Yeah, I agree. TJ saying Scream 5 Killers was a joke. It wasn't hard to know who the killers were. I'll be
Bro,
honest. I didn't think they were going to make Richie a killer because I just didn't think that they were going to do. I knew this was supposed to be somewhat of a reimagining or a retcon of the original. I just didn't think that they were going to go with the same motive as the killer being the boyfriend, but that's what they did.
I mean, it wasn't the motive, but just like the same person.
Right.
Like that's the thing, bro. Like I did not suspect Richie at all. So when it happened, I was like, "What the fuck?"
Right.
But Amber, I was like, "Bro, of course it's her." I knew it since the bar scene because she was down talking Sam. I'm like, "Bro, she's giving off reverse flash energy, bro."
Right. Exactly. Like,
Fucking
well,
haterade,
like,
nigga.
but there's even with those killers, like I think you can make a case that there were more killers in Scream 5 than they're implying. You know what I mean? Because the one thing that always stood out to me was the beginning scene when the killer says to Tara, somebody's got to die now. And they show the video of Ghostface holding up the knife and Amber's in her room.
Right.
I don't think that's pre-recorded. That's live. You know what I mean?
That
So
looks like it, bro. But
it's
I think they meant for it to be pre-recorded, but they just weren't. They were just being stupid. The
the
writers, bro,
goofy shit.
sucked for these
The
movies.
goofy
But
shit.
huh?
The goofy shit.
Yeah, bro. Literally, the direction's good and the cast is good, but the writing was just not good because they wrote and directed it, right?
Yeah. No, Radio Silence directed it, and Guy Busick and James Vanderbilt wrote it.
Wait, I
I mean,
thought
they're all considered, I guess, Radio Silence, but
right.
what I know about them, Radio Silence are mainly the directors, and Guy and James they're just friends with them, and they just write their shit.
Wait, so who's the dude? Who are the dudes that are already silenced then?
Um, Chad, I want to say it's Chad Villella or something like that. Matt
Oh,
Benelli
right.
Open, and I forget the other guy's name.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Yeah, bro.
they're a trio of them and stuff. So like, they're known as Radio Silence, and the other two just work hand in hand with them a lot and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're considered Radio Silence themselves and stuff. But
Hold on.
yeah, no doubt. Hey, what's up, Melissa Wildcard? I hope you're doing great. Hope you're enjoying your day. It's good to see you. It's been a while. But we are going to wrap up the stream in about 10 minutes, guys, and stuff. I've been going here for about 2.5 hours. Do me a favor if you haven't already. Like the stream, like this episode of the podcast. It helps out a lot. Share it on all your social
Hey,
media
Carson.
platforms. And even leave a comment after the stream if you're just coming in here and you haven't, been a part of the whole episode, a part of the whole stream, and you end up going back and watching it. Leave a comment in the comment section and let me know what you guys think about the stuff we've talked about here in this episode today. And let me know what you guys are feeling and thinking, what direction Scream 7 is going in terms of, the Entertainment Tonight interview from Nev Campbell, her saying that the idea for Sydney's character in Scream 7 is basically a play off of the Laurie Strode idea for Halloween 2018. Like, stuff like that. Let me know what you guys think. I'm really interested to see how you guys are all feeling and what theories you guys have for Scream 7.
All right. And
But
then,
yeah, so like I said, we'll go about 10 more minutes, bro. So I would say to close it out within these last 10 minutes, overall, what is the number one thing you want to see happen in Scream 7 that is going to take the franchise forward? Because there is supposedly already Scream 8 in the works.
wait, really?
Yes, Scream 8 is already being talked about, being in the works, all that stuff. And that's why I said the rumor is that they're going to be focusing on Sydney's daughter going forward after Scream 7. So in Scream 7, what is the number one thing you want to see happen that you think will be a great transition storyline wise into following Sydney's daughter into an 8th film?
Well, I really think it could definitely be where it's like I'm really stuck on that. I really want it to happen, so I'm gonna say I think it's gonna be like Mark's long lost kid, and like it's gonna be focusing on the daughter. Like the kid is gonna basically either pretend to be in high school, or it's gonna be like something like with Piper, where she's like he or she is like a reporter, right? And they're gonna get close to Sydney's daughter, right? And that's Mark's kid, and they're siblings. And I think in the end, she's probably gonna have to kill her sibling, kind of like how it happened in the TV show. And I think the killer, like somebody, like whoever's going to be the killer in Scream 8 is going to be connected to the long lost sibling in some way. Maybe it's not an exact copy of how they did it in the TV show, but it's going to be something like that, I feel like.
Possible, man. I mean, I think that whoever this killer is or whatnot, I think it has to be somebody who is not only is extremely personal to Sydney, that's why this is happening, but if it's not going to be Stu, then you have to make sure that you contextualize the story to where we don't need to keep having to ask questions later.
Right, yep.
If this is going to be a new killer that has a vendetta with Sydney, you have to contextualize it. And that's why I think making Sydney somewhat of a character, I'm going to say a disliked character, but having her do things that we would never expect Sydney to do is the way to go. Like following in her mother's footsteps. Maybe she has a lover on the side, something like that, or whatever. Like I said, for me, my number one thing is do something different with Sydney's character that we can get hooked into. You know what I mean? I don't want it to be the same old character that we've seen in Scream 1, Scream 2, Scream 3, Scream 4, Scream 5. I get it. We love Sydney for who she is. But I also think there are ways to where we can also love her for indiscretions.
Right.
You know what I mean? And stuff like that. So I really hope that they work on things with this character and let's stop being so sugary and sweet. Let's get a little edgy. You know what I mean? Let's shake shit up a little bit. You know what I mean? Let's kind of look at her in a way that's not fully negative, but that we're like, okay, this character has changed.
Right. Yeah. For
I
sure,
mean, like
man.
that's what I really want and stuff. But I also really, really want this killer to be as ferocious of a killer that we have ever gotten. I feel
for
like if you're going to sit there and say that these killings are the most personal to Sidney Prescott yet, then we need to see some fresh, new, innovative kills that are very brutal, in my opinion. Like
same.
I want to see the bar get raised. You know what I mean? I also want to see Ghostface use different methods of killing. I loved in
Yeah.
Street Six the shotgun. Give me something along those lines, like a new weapon of choice or something like that, or just do something, you know what I mean, that is not that we wouldn't expect Ghostface to do.
Right, bro. That's what I'm saying. I feel like the most brutal, even to this day, besides maybe like the Olivia kill, I feel like the Scream season two, and even in parts of season one, was the most like brutal display of Ghostface. I still consider season one and two Ghostface,
Oh
but it's
yeah,
just a different kind of Ghostface. You know what I'm saying? I still see that as like the most vicious he's ever been. Cause he was, bro. Kieran was fucking shit up. Like he was low key dark, bro.
bro.
Like it was some
They
shit
had,
that made him intimidating under
I
like
was
the color.
shocked by how the TV show was very graphic with their kills. I didn't expect that.
Right.
They was brutal, man, and that's what I want to see in a movie. You know what I mean? Like that's what I feel like some of the movies were lacking for me when it compared to the TV show, which is why I like the TV show so much, is because they didn't lack in the brutality department and stuff. And I get it. You know, Scream isn't supposed to be an over the top brutal movie. And I'm not saying that it should transition into being like that. But what I am saying is that it should give us a little bit more.
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure.
give us kills to where we know for a fact they are cooked.
Right.
like Annika. I can accept that. That was great. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that was
She's
different.
dead.
She's cooked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Finished. You know what I mean? There's no, oh well, Angelina got stabbed in the shoulder and got drug away, but she's dead. Like she got
Right.
stabbed in the shoulder. Like how did that kill her?
Right.
You know, like stuff like that. I don't want kills like that. You know what I mean? I want kills where it's like definitive. That's why I even bring up Jennifer Jolie. When you go back and look at how he stabbed her when she's like struggling and she's like up against the glass, you don't even see the knife go in.
Oh God, for real.
You don't even see the knife go in. So it's just like stuff like that they need to avoid. I
Right.
mean,
It's
like
like
I
stupid
want to
sisters.
see vicious, legitimate kills to where I'm like, yep, they ain't coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give me a Chad, man. I love Chad, but don't give me no more Chads, man. We can't do this no more.
For real, bro.
You know what I mean? We cannot do this anymore. As much as I like Chad as a character, I would have been perfectly fine with him dying in that scene because that scene was cool. Two Ghostface killing him at the same time. Never seen nothing like that in the franchise before. You should have
Right.
kept that as is. And stuff like that that you need to keep as is. You know what I mean? And stuff like definitive. That to me was as definitive of a kill that you can get that you decided, no, we're going to keep him alive. No, stop doing shit like that, please.
Low key, I was like, bro, maybe they weren't stabbing him that deep. That's what I was thinking.
I just, that's just too many, bro. That's just too many. You know what I mean? In that moment, what we needed when Chad, when they hauled him out on a gurney, we needed a quick clip of Jill just popping up. What are you, Michael fucking Myers?
Literally.
You know what I mean? Like, because that's what it's like with this guy. This guy is just indestructible. No matter what you did to Chad, he's gonna survive.
I mean,
Like,
people, to be fair, people in real life have survived way worse than that.
that is true, though. You're not lying.
So he's probably just lucky as fuck.
You're not lying. Miraculously enough, there has been people that have endured way more punishment than that and somehow lived to talk about it. You know what I mean? Like, which is awesome. You know what I mean? But that it's crazy and awesome at the same time. You know what I mean? Because your normal thought is that if somebody especially gets stabbed that many times, they're done for.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's just don't give me no kills like that though. You know what I mean? Like I don't want no kills like that. So to close off the stream, man, I guess my final question for you will be: will we get the Cult of Ghostface in Scream 7, or will we not?
You know, after this conversation, I'm thinking not. Before the stream, I would have said probably yes. I think it'll be something. I feel like I've had this vision in my head where it's like there's a killer reveal, and then the killers somehow mentioned that they were gonna go after like Sam and Tara after they were done with Sydney and stuff like that to kind of show us, oh shit, this is kind of like a planned cult type thing. You know what I mean? I guess
Right.
they could still do that, but if there's really about to be a Kirby movie, then and that's probably going to be the cult one. I don't think they'll do it in 7.
I don't think so neither, man. I really don't, because you can't do back-to-back movies with the same thing. I'll say this, because some people will say, yes, you can. You can if one of the killers gets away.
Right.
But
Dude,
in that
that's what I've
regard,
always wanted, bro. For like,
in that
because Kieran
regard,
was that.
I would almost feel like if that's what you're going to do, then that killer who got away would have to be somebody personal to Kirby.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? Like, it can't just be some random killer and she's just like, all right, I have to track him down because I'm FBI. No, it has to have a meaning. Because if you're putting Kirby at the forefront, you want it to have a meaning. You want whoever she's going up against to have purpose.
Right.
You know what I mean? Especially for the first movie. So, yeah, I mean, I'm really concerned that Scream 7, we will not be getting the Cult of Ghostface. But I'm also not concerned by it, because if we don't, I'm cool with just one killer again. I would like to see it again. You know what I mean? I wouldn't mind it. You know what I mean? And stuff like that, especially if it's going to be personal to Sydney, then I'd rather it just be one killer, because the most personal killer to Sydney was a single killer, and that was her brother.
Right. And you know
know
what's
what I mean?
crazy
So,
is I've always wanted a Kieran where they survived the movie and then got revealed as a killer in the next one. But the more I think about it, I'm like, does that really? Do you think they could actually pull something like that off? Just because does it make sense? Like the more I think about it, even though I love season 2, perfect season of television, Kieran's reveal was amazing. Does it make sense that he wasn't there at the reveal in the first one though? That's what I'll always come back to. I'm like, why was he not at that reveal?
no, he was. But remember, Piper got killed before she revealed it. Because remember, she told Emma, I have one more surprise for you. And that's when Aubrey came up and shot her dead. And then basically what they made it seem like was that Kieran was about to be revealed, but then he saw Piper get killed, so he didn't reveal himself and decided to save it, obviously, for a later date to get his revenge and stuff like that. Yeah, because she was about to reveal him, bro, because she was like, I have one last surprise for you. And then next thing you know, boom, Audrey fucking blows her top off. You know what I mean?
That's crazy. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, bro. But but I'm glad that you bring the TV series up. You know what I mean? Because in my opinion, I'm right there with you. When you talk about a continuation of a killer that was involved in the first one that we didn't get revealed until the next one, bro, that's perfect fucking storytelling.
Right.
Like the way they set that shit up was perfect. Like literally perfect. You know what I mean? Because I remember when I saw the reveal of Kieran, and that's what it took me back to. I'm like, Piper did say she had a surprise for her, and we didn't get it revealed. He was the fucking surprise. Right. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. So they did a great job. What they did a great job of doing, because some people say, oh, well, they did the same thing the movies did. They copied the boyfriend thing. Though they did it in a different way.
Right.
You know what I mean? They did it in a different way, and they made it work.
I will never get over how underrated the fucking TV show is, bro. The season 2
So underrated. So underrated. Real quick. What up, Jamie? That's so good. I'm so glad to see you. Unfortunately, we are going to be wrapping up the stream here in a couple minutes, but I'm glad you were able to stop in and grace us with your presence. It's been a little bit. It's good to see you. But bro, the TV series is horribly underrated. I remember when I first heard about it, I'm like, man, no Wes Craven behind. Well, he was involved a little bit, but not fully. You know what I mean?
Wasn't like the first episode or something?
Yes. And I'm like, man, they're turning into a TV show. Like, damn, I don't know about this. Man, after the first episode, I was like, all right, I will be back here every single week. Every single week. I was like, yep, this shit's gonna be fire. And it was. It was good. I wish, I mean, it's not to say they're not, which is why I'm surprised that we're getting a Kirby Reed spinoff movie.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that they would be doing the TV show first because apparently Paramount is working on a stream TV show.
Yeah. I mean, I heard news of that.
I'm hoping they go back to Lakewood.
Dude, yeah.
And
hey, you know,
I
Beyond
think
the Mask.
somebody recently said it. I think I seen it in Pam's chat the other night. Somebody recently spoke. An interviewer recently spoke with Willa Fitzgerald, who played Emma.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to do it.
Yeah, dude. Hey, you know Beyond the Mask, right?
Yes.
Apparently, like Paramount or whoever has the rights to the TV series gave him permission to like write a canon ending to it. Didn't like it's canon, right? So I think that kind of takes it off the table, you know.
I don't think so. Not 100%.
Yeah,
they could switch some things up. Bro, like look how many things have been written that has been made into a movie and retold in a different light. You know what I mean? And stuff. I really hope that they would consider going back to Lakewood. We need a proper, and I'm not sitting there saying he didn't write one. You know what I mean? I don't want it just written on paper. I want to see it. I want to see it, man. Who was Troy? Who was the James that showed up at the hotel? Who was the killer who killed Kieran? I want to know all these things. Like, you know what I mean? So, because that's another thing. Because that also shows you that Kieran and maybe Piper were working for somebody else.
Bro, I think the person that killed him was the dad. Because I think it was the dad that killed everybody and it wasn't Brandon.
I think so too.
I think so.
That's he framed Brandon.
That's what I believe, bro.
He framed Brandon so he can have Maggie.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I agree with that theory, my friend. I've missed you too, Jamie. Hopefully we can get together for a stream or something soon. Or even maybe a phone call if you're not busy. Be great. But yeah, man, like this was a fun time, man. I'm so happy to be back, doing some content, and I'm so happy we got all these, announcements and news coming out, in terms of the release date. And we're always going to have rumors. We're always going to have theories, you know what I mean, and stuff. So I'm just excited that Stream 7 is happening. I'm excited that we are getting a spinoff, bro. Who would have ever thought we were getting a spinoff movie?
Right.
Kirby Reed finally gets her due diligence. You know what I mean? So I'm excited for all this. I will say this. I just hope that they don't overstay their welcome. I hope it doesn't get out of control. Like consistency, I hope consistency remains the same.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You mean like you hope the Scream franchise doesn't like go off the handles? Or are you talking about like specifically something else?
Right. I don't want it to go off the handles, man. I really hope it doesn't. I really hope it doesn't. This franchise is too rich. It's got too much. I have too much love in my heart to see this happen. Like, what did they say in Scream 4? Stab 5 had time travel or something.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to see that. I mean, what? What they had Metal Ghostface in Scream 5? Like,
right.
We can't have that. We cannot have that. You know what I mean? So as long as they don't overstay, as long as they don't overstay but keep things simple and effective, I think this expanded universe with Scream could do very, very well.
Hell yeah, bro. That's what I think too, man.
I think the biggest question before we head out of here, Jordan, though, that I want you to answer real quick is how many Kirby Reed spinoffs do you think we're going to get?
Damn. We might just get the one, but I think, dude, we've been doing trilogies. I think they might do a trilogy for real. If the
I
first
think
one
it all
does
depends
good,
on the money.
right?
If it's a moneymaker.
If the first one does good,
Yes, if it's a moneymaker, I can see them doing more and stuff. But also, the ending has to stick. The story has to stick. You know what I mean?
right? Yeah,
And stuff.
yeah.
And I will also actually see. I just see there's so many things we're gonna have to talk about on another day, but we'll get this last question in. Do you think? Okay, so let's say Scream 7 is solely set in Seattle. We're not going back to Woodsboro at all. Even though they say there are going to be 2 different locations, let's just say the other location is something else for Scream 7, and it's not Woodsboro. Do you think Kirby's spinoff could return to Woodsboro?
Sure, but I think that would be like make us be like, okay, that's bullshit. There's no way it's gonna happen in Woodsboro. But I
Right.
feel like it'd be somewhere else. I think
Right.
maybe some of the
Atlanta.
cult members, actually, maybe some of the cult members could be in Woodsboro, and they're like different places.
That's possible. Atlanta. I mean, she's based in Atlanta, apparently.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
she was tracking both Jason and Greg from Atlanta. Maybe she knew about a possible group they were a part of there. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Right.
This is going to be interesting though, because I one didn't expect a spinoff, and I two did not expect them to say, "Oh yeah, and by the way, it will most likely be centered around the cult of Ghostface." Well,
Huh.
I thought we were doing that in
Wait,
Scream 7.
they straight up said that?
Basically, that's what it says on Production Weekly. The untitled Kirby Reed spinoff is supposed to be taking shape in the form of the following, which is basically that Kevin Williams show with Kevin Bacon that followed a cult, a guy who was in jail, and he had a cult of killers killing for him.
Right, and that was supposed to be Scream 3, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, yeah, I just don't think Scream 7 is going to be the cult. I don't. I think we're going to get one killer now or 2. And I'm really leaning more towards one killer, because those personal, the whole rumors of the killings being personal, just screams to me it has to be one solo killer. That's just me, though.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, and by the way, if you're wondering why I'm out of my room right now, bro, I had just gotten a new floor done, but
Okay.
then like the plumbing got freaking done. I mean, the plumbing got fucked up, and it literally flooded into my room, so I
Oh,
had to rip
no.
up my floor.
That's no good, man. I'm sorry to hear that. That shit sucks. You know what I mean?
For
But hey,
real.
hey, bro, you were still able to hang out with us today. You were still able to, stream and stuff. I have no
Yeah,
issues with your location, my friend.
yeah. But yeah, I meant to talk to you about that behind the stage, because I know he ain't talked in like a minute. So I was like, yeah, bro, that's something that happened. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's messed up, man. Hopefully you get that bad boy taken care of, ASAP, and you ain't got to worry about dealing with that shit no more, because I know that can be a fucking hassle.
For real, man.
That's a lot of work to have to fucking clean up and all that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And black mold, shit like that.
Oh yeah, you already know. You don't want that shit growing on your shit. You know what I mean? You don't want that at all, because then you might have to move, because that's a health hazard. That's not good. Like,
Right. Exactly.
but all right, everybody, we are going to close down this episode of the podcast. I greatly appreciate every single one of you who came into the stream, even if it was for a few minutes. It was great. I'm so happy to be back here with you guys and get more content out. It's spooky season, y'all, so you already know what time it is. I'm going to be having me some Halloween content coming out next week. I will be basically doing all Terrifier. You guys will get that schedule coming out here within the next day, basically. I will be doing everything Terrifier, so you guys will get that schedule and you guys will see what it's hitting for. And also for my members out there, I am actually scheduling a members only week to where all week I won't be doing any content other than members only content. So guys, stay tuned. I'm so happy to be back. I'm happy to be talking Scream Theories with you and other horror movie content as well. So guys, enjoy the rest of your Saturday evening. It was great having this conversation. Jordan, I will see you backstage. Everybody, enjoy the rest of your night and stay safe out there, y'all.
Yeah.